say it's love, but what the fuck is that? My mind keep taking me to places so cold. I'm in my head somewhere, I need to touch. Sometimes I can get you out my mind. I know this ain't right. I can find you every time. I know I can't move outside. Keep so good. Me, I won't care from the monster. I'm friends with the monster. I'm friends with the monster. You know that I see you in my head and I see you. I'm friends with the monster. I'm friends with the monster. You know that I see you in my bed and I see you. I'm friends with the monster. I'm friends with the monster. You know that I see you in my bed and I see you. I'm friends with the monster. I'm friends with the monster. You know that I see you in my bed and I see you.
Charlotte in the building. What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, man? Nieces and nephews, kinfolks and cousins. How you doing? Your godfather's back in the house, and the house is packed. All right, so just so you know, so you can't say you weren't told, this is streaming live to YouTube behind the paywall. So if you're one of these people who like to copy my streams, it's going to hit the DCMA system, which means you will get a strike. I'm not sending any requests to remove anything. I've already told you. So now you know. Now you know, so don't get upset if it happens. All right, what's going on, y'all? Man, you know, funny thing is yesterday, I did not realize that it was going to cause so much drama. If you're one of these people who like to copy my streams, it's going to hit the DCMA system. Which there it is right there, streaming to YouTube Live. You heard it. Not sending any. All right. So last night I just talked about the basics. You know, look, ladies, the term leftover women is a term from the Chinese government to apply to women over 27 years old who aren't married. And I said that in America, in the West, that number is roughly about 35. Okay, the ultimate point of all of that was to let women understand that whatever your choice or whatever your reason is, or whatever reason why you chose not to get married in your prime years, is up to you. But the reality is that, hold on. The reality is, whatever this damn thing is. Let's do it this way. The reality is, ladies, it is what it is. It is what it is. And now you're no longer in your prime years. And I'm saying to women that, you know, hey, you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're likely going to have to share a man. And you know what tripped me out is you would think that I was cussing women out, telling them that they had to share. But then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I get it. It's because you've been winning so long. It's like, wait a minute. You wouldn't give up your prime years. If you could go back in time, ladies, I don't know how many of you ladies would sit back and say, well, you know what? I'll give up my prime years. No, you wouldn't. You'll take those prime years and you will enjoy them. And that's the thing. So many women are like, damn it, I don't like the fact that this has changed. I get it. I get it. But the reality is it has. And the reality is that now men over 40 have the advantage you had between the ages of 18 and 25. And just like you weren't willing to settle, they're not willing to settle. So what are you going to do? What are your options? Well, I thought I made a pretty reasonable suggestion. And my suggestion was simply this. Ladies, you want to consider sharing. That's what you want to consider. You want to consider sharing. And you know what? Funny thing is, I talked to I talked to beautiful women, beautiful black women. And I even reached out and talked to some very beautiful, educated, we're talking bona fide, bad black women. Not a shadow of a doubt. I'm like, anonymously, tell me what you think about this sharing thing. And I've been on the phone for the last 3 weeks talking about this. And you know what women said? He was like, and we got right down to it. It was the more of a matter of how to do it. Because the reality is, ladies, if you want a lifestyle, that's what this whole high value man thing really is about. It's about a lifestyle. And whether we like it or not, gentlemen, women have become accustomed to a certain kind of lifestyle and are not willing to go back. And I'm saying, would you rather have a man who you can do what you like? You don't have to go back in your lifestyle. And you can maintain that for the rest of your years, but he's not yours 100%. And what I'm starting to realize is women are so damn selfish. Y'all want it all. You want your prime years. You want to date the star quarterback, the dope boy, your best friend, white dude, the CEO, the starting point guard. Y'all want it all. And then you want it to last forever. You ladies don't want to ever play fair. That's the reality, gentlemen. That's what I realized. I'm like, these women don't ever want to play fair. And that's part of this whole queen, Mother CMOS, gold, goddess energy stuff. It's like you never, ever, never thought about playing fair. Never did. It's like, well, I want perpetual advantage the entire time. All right, well, if that's the case, cool. The only way you're going to get that is you get to decide because of the numbers. The numbers. There are not enough men for women on the planet. There are more white men. There are more white women than white men. There are more Hispanic women than Hispanic men, such and so forth. And for the women I'm talking about in particular, 35-year-old, 40-year-old, Generation X, late baby boomers, you're roughly talking about 600,000 women, and you want about 10,000 men. 10,000 when you look at income, marital status, sexual preference, and height. You ladies want, so 600,000 women want 10,000 men. Do the math. Do the math. How can you get him all to yourself? And here's the reason I got it, guys. The reason women want the man all to themselves is not because they're territorial. It's not because they're, it's not anything it's not anything as grand as that. It's their fucking ego, man. They want to be thought of as that bitch. They want to be able to walk and say, I got him. And I think it's funny that so many women sit back and say, well, I want you to be well, no. And understand, ladies, if your sexual market, let's just attach some numbers. Let's say your sexual marketplace value between the ages of 18 and 26, 18 and 26. Let's just say you could get a man who's $250,000 or more, $300,000 man, okay? That's where you started. The men who are making $300,000, you qualify for those guys. Meaning they could see you as a potential mate. You're an 8, 9, or 10, adjustable 6, even a 6 in some way. Well, this is after college. We got to be honest. You weren't getting with these guys you weren't getting with these guys in college. You're getting with them after college. So 21 to 26, $300,000. You had $300,000 at 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And if you really wanted to be raw, 2019. I'm not going to go to 18. I'm just not going to do it. I don't even want to go into 21, but you get it. But you had anywhere from you had almost a 10-year run at being able to sort through all these guys. And I'm gonna tell you guys, women got these men in their phone under lights, gas, groceries, car payment, insurance, Chanel, Valentino, Tom Ford, Versace, Gucci. I've seen it. I've seen women who don't have your name. They have what you do. Okay? And you had access to all of it. They were going on 3 and 4 dates a week. Some women were so gangster. Shout out to a woman I dated. She was going on 2 or 3 dates a week. She had a lunch, she had a coffee or drinks, and then dinner. Gangster. And that's why she was working. And then on the weekend, she was fluting out. And then who you decide to have sex with is up to you. You had it all. Now, you're 35. And now, you look and ask yourself a question. At 25 years old, would I have taken one of those guys who was flying me out, doing all stuff, buying me Birkin bags and heels and everything, buying me Kelly bags, not even Birkin, Chanel bags, Celine bags, Balenciaga shoes. I mean, would I take one of those guys? Why would I spend time with a guy making $45,000 a year when I got a guy making $450,000 a year? That's what women do. So it's like the guy who's making $45,000 a year may have been a solid dude, great character, family man, blah, blah, blah. But he was too early on. He didn't have stability. He didn't have enough income, whatever. So he had to wait. He had to wait while he saw you dating men my age. While you were dating men in their 40s to 60s, in their 40s and 50s. Some of y'all were dating men in their 60s. He had to wait. He could not access it. Now you ladies are turning around at 36 years old and saying, okay, when you was at $45,000 a year, that's not good enough. But now you're at 300. I want all the advantage I had in my youth, and I want it to keep going on now. No, absolutely not. That's not even close to being fair. Because your value is not $300,000 anymore. Your value is closer to 50 now. Your value is decreased. So the very guy you curbed or would have put on, I won't say curbed, but the very guy you would have put in the friend zone at 25 is who you are now. You are the guys you put in the friend zone at 25. That's your value. You didn't promote them from friend to man because they didn't have a Lexus or a BMW or a G-Wagon. You are now you know what it feels like to be in that friend zone. And there's the problem, ladies. It's not going to change. This is why you see so many women over 40 who are making over 6 figures dating younger men. Because they may have the resume, but their sexual marketplace value is closer to for that $45,000 or $40,000 a year dude. Actually, it's closer to about 30, 35. And this is the issue. So here's the question. If you are if you are Generation X woman, danger zone. Straight up danger zone. Not danger zone. Let's stop that. If you were a straight up Generation X or late millennial, 35 plus, okay? And every year your sexual marketplace value goes down. Would you rather maintain your current kind of lifestyle and be in a rotation with the man at that level? Because the reason we keep talking about this is because women want high value men. No matter what they say, they want that because that's a man who can live their lifestyle. So would you rather live a part-time high value lifestyle with the kind of man you want, who's on your economic level, who's on your maturity level, who you can talk with, like I said, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about with him. Because here's the problem, ladies. When you make a lot of money or you're up here, You're talking about politics, psychology, sociology. You're talking about stuff, and the guys you're dating, they don't know nothing about all that. So you often have to talk down to that guy. So in order to the best of those situations, because there are not enough men for any group of women, is what has always existed. You got to share. And I saw in the comment section, some woman said some foolishness. I'm going to highlight you, ma'am, because I pinned your comment. No self-respecting woman would choose to share a man. And I'm like, this one, no self-respecting woman will share a man if she doesn't want to. She'd sooner walk away or be single. Got news for you. History and sociology say different. Women have often shared men. This is why Future keeps coming up. 8 women have chosen to share him. And every one of them would have been with him if he'd have chose to be with her. You got one man with 8 women and 8 kids. And they don't mind sharing. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't mind sharing. Future just is up front with it. Well, Kevin, I don't want to share because my value. Well, ma'am, if you're over 40, you ain't talking about kids. The things you had to bring to the table when you were 25 was your youth, your fitness level, your looks, your womb. You take away reproduction, that's roughly 70% of what men are getting a woman for anyway, to marry, to commit to, so it's no longer there. Ladies, whether you like what I'm saying or not, you don't have the buying power to get the kind of man you want. Have you ever gone to a restaurant or something that's like, or not a restaurant, but sometimes they'll open up a country club or open up an exclusive club for everybody. Day at the park or whatever, everybody. No cover charge. The people who are normally there don't go there. They let the public in. Okay? But I want you to understand, ladies, you have been walking through life on preferred client status. You didn't just shop at Saks Fifth Avenue, Neiman Marcus. You were a preferred client. You found out about the customer only events when they shut the store down and only let people like you in. That's why you were standing in the VIP when younger men and average women were standing in the line. You had all that advantage. Now you don't have it. The man does. And just like the people had to watch you live your best life, it's his turn. The question is, would you rather share a man and have part of the kind of man you want, settle, and settling is a bad idea. Because you won't respect the man, you won't admire the man, and you'll just pick at him. Don't settle for anybody. So it's share the man, or kick it with your homegirls. And you got to think about what's that going to look like at 60 years old. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I want to talk to women over 30. If you've been on before, respect the platform. Over 30. That's sharing. What are we talking about? Bare minimum. Here's the funny thing. Talk about diseases. I want you to understand that anybody coming in and talking all this stuff about diseases and all this other kind of stuff, they're not living. They're just trying to find ways to throw stuff. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Have you been on here before?
No,
Okay. How old are you?
40.
All
I just
right.
want to say that we support you and agree to everything you say. I'm
Okay.
a high value man.
Oh, all right. Well, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get to the people who don't agree, though. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Look, I want you to understand. Now you're going to hear all the 50 and 60-year-old women talking about he's poisonous, he's toxic, cancel him, he's the devil, he's disgusting. And I'm pinning your comments, ladies, because what I want you to understand, these are the women I'm talking about. Do these women seem happy to you? Because what am I saying that's so wrong? But when you lose the argument, they just want you to be quiet. Gentlemen, the cat's out of the bag. Ladies, the cat is out of the bag. If you don't share, what's the alternative? Because if you're going to tell me sharing doesn't work, I'm going to say, cool. What's the alternative? That's my question. What's the alternative? Because right now, this is the best we've got. All right. I don't talk to people who are in the dark.
Turning.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? How old are you?
35.
35. All right. So, what do you think about sharing a man?
I'm actually in a relationship where I share a man.
Okay. Why is that what you chose to do?
Well, initially it wasn't something that was made clear to me. But when it came out that he had another woman, we had already built. I had already built, or I would say I started investing in him. So it led to us still being together, and it's 6 years now.
Well, that's another thing, ladies. We're also talking about you're going to have to invest, and that's the thing. But I'm gonna follow up on that now. You said it wasn't made clear to you up front. What do you mean? He kept it from you?
Well, it was 6 years ago. I would say I didn't ask the right question to get.
What do you mean didn't ask the right question? Did you lie by omission, or did you just not? Or did you just not care?
At the time, no, I didn't care. We were just dating, having fun. It was
okay. So
yeah, it was started out.
Because I want to be clear, because that's what a lot of women would hear, deception. And if it was just y'all were just doing what you're doing, so why did you choose to share a man instead of saying the hell with this, I'll go get my own and roll the dice and go out back to the dating market?
So I tried that. I attempted that, and what was out there, or what I was finding, or what was gravitating to me, was not the same as the person I'm with.
Thank you. So it's better. So the man you invested in, you have something with it, and you'd rather do this than take a chance out there.
At this point, yeah.
Makes sense? All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Okay, understand something, ladies. It's the whole bird in the hand. How they get most of you ladies is to say, girl, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. The world is big. We got the internet. And you can go out there and find anybody. No, you can't. You need to really sit down and ask yourself the kind and caliber of man you want. Think about your lifestyle. And see, here's the thing, ladies. When you were 18 to 26, you didn't have to invest in a man. You were told that men are supposed to do something for you. That's why I put that clip up. If you've already been on the show once, I'm trying to get new people on here, okay? I'm not trying to do reoccurring guests. So thank you.
I believe it's because as women, we were taught that a man owes us something. So, and we were taught that he owes us all of him.
You were taught that we owe you something. That we owe you. You were taught that we owe you something. All men owe you something. And then the man you choose owes you everything. But you owe us nothing except your presence. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Not only do you owe me, I owe you, but you also have to invest in me. And that's the thing. What I'm saying is offensive to women because you've been lied to. You've been lied to. You've been told it's all about you. And a man will be lucky to have you. Okay. Let's talk about it. I want to hear the people who disagree or have questions. I want to have a nice, respectful conversation about the topic. Hello? Okay. Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How old are you?
I'm good. So,
How old are you?
I'm 30.
All right. Any children?
Yes, I do. I have 2 girls, 2
Okay.
daughters.
So, what do you think about the subject of sharing a man?
Absolutely not. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's, I mean, and it won't work. It just won't work, especially if you're a woman who, you just got standards for certain things. You're just not going for it. You require his time. You require a lot from him. So how could you ever be happy with yourself trying to settle with a man with another woman? That would make you so miserable. If you thought you was miserable before, like you're going to be miserable.
How many different fathers?
I have 2 baby daddies. 2 fathers, yeah.
Do you hear what's coming out of your mouth?
I do.
A man has to share you with 2 other men who got kids out of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Listen. Why?
But I'm not sleeping with
I
those
need you
men.
to, okay.
Okay.
I let you speak.
Yeah.
You're far too animated about this because you know you're wrong. When you come to the marketplace, you've already been shared by 2 different men, and they got DNA evidence. What does a woman who has 2 kids by 2 different men think that? This is what I mean. Y'all were taught that we owe y'all everything. Your value, okay. What do you think your value is relative to the market? If an average woman is here, what do you think your value is?
If an average woman is there, I think my value will still be on average. And I'm just being honest, because regardless if I have 2 baby fathers or 4 baby fathers, well, I won't necessarily say 4, but regardless of the fact, I'm a damn good woman. And I'm going to hold myself up here regardless of the...
Ma'am, don't talk to me about your feelings. Let's talk about the math.
Yeah, we're
If an
talking
average
about
woman
it
is here.
you asked me, and that's my
okay, so you can't
answer.
do that.
That's okay.
Man, I don't know you. If you got to overtalk, you're losing.
I'm listening.
Okay, if an average childless woman is here,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying your value is on par with her. How can that be?
Because
according to the math, you have 2 children.
Yeah.
Does that increase your value?
Can I explain?
Do children increase your value to the market?
If they're good kids.
No.
If they're well-behaved kids.
I'm trying to be respectful, man. I'm trying to be goddamn respectful. Stop it. Check that shit. Man, I'll let you speak. This will go off the rails. This will go off the rails, ma'am. I don't do that.
Because you didn't let me answer.
Ma'am, you're not answering the question. Okay, here's what we're not going to do. Okay? I'll let you speak. Now, you can have a respectful dialogue, and if you're talking about you're such a good woman, show it. If a woman is average, any woman, you or other, who has 2 children, does that increase her value to the market? Maintain it or decrease it? I don't care how great you think the kids are. We're talking about just bare numbers. Does it increase, decrease, or maintain?
Okay. Realistically, in this world, it decreases.
Okay. So it decreases your...
But can I say something?
It decreases your... Ma'am, that's how it is. Your value... You're saying your value is here.
I get it.
You can believe...
But
you
she
can
have no kids.
Okay, you're not... I can do this without... No.
I can't talk.
Okay. No, I'm running the show.
But she can have no kids, and she's still a bird brain. She's still less than...
Ma'am, how do you think you're coming across right now?
Listen, you asked me a question.
I'm asking you, seriously. Okay, ma'am, how do you think you're coming across right now? How do you think you're coming across right now? Because you're saying that, I don't know you, but here's the thing. You have 2 kids by 2 different men. How come neither one of those men chose to marry you?
You know what? Because actually, they just wasn't in the life path for me to marry. I was young, and for one of the men, I mean, he just, as I grew older with him, he was older than me, but as I start to, come into terms of what was going on in my life, I branched off. I grew apart from that. I didn't see no elevation with him. I didn't. And to be honest, the second man was really, honestly speaking, the second man was, it's somebody who I had known for a while, but it still happened like as a, I won't say wasn't a one night stand, but
How
it
about you just
happened
make,
so
ma'am,
fast.
when you start, okay, no disrespect, ma'am. I just asked you a direct question.
And
Did
I
either
just
one of these,
told you,
okay, ma'am, excuse me, did either one of these men propose marriage to you?
absolutely not, because marriage wasn't
Stop,
even in
stop,
their
stop, stop, stop,
radar.
stop, stop,
Marriage
stop,
wasn't
stop,
even in their
stop. See, this is what I
radar.
want you to talk. This is what I need you to understand. These women can talk, but man, every time that I let you talk. You want to dominate the
Yes.
conversation. Ma'am, you have 2 kids. Your value to the market is below average. And all you have to do is judge by the caliber of men you mate with and whether or not those men even offered you marriage. All you have to do is judge based whether or not you required marriage. So we're here because you're a mother of 2 with 2 different guys talking about sharing a man, and you've shared your womb. So from the men's standpoint, why is it okay for you to expect a man to accept a woman who shared her womb with 2 men and you're not willing to share his presence with another woman or 2? Answer that question. You shared your womb with 2 men. Why can't you share that man with 1 or 2 women?
Because he's coming into my life. He wants to have something with me. We're having something with each other. We're not, and we say if he have kids, he share his semen with 2 other women, because that's
I
what
didn't
it
say he
is.
had kids, ma'am. I just said you're making up stuff that I didn't say.
Okay, and if he didn't have kids, if he did not have kids, then I still do, because I'm not sleeping with my baby
I didn't
fathers.
say
I'm
you
not
were.
sleeping with them.
Ma'am, it doesn't matter if
So
you're sleeping with them. Ma'am, it doesn't matter if you're sleeping with them or not. You have the kids.
yes.
So, ma'am, what you're trying to do is you're being disingenuous because you have to say, your logic is kicking in. You're like, damn, he's right. I have shared my body and my womb with 2 different men, and I have the product to show it. So he's coming into my life. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's another. You ladies value yourselves more than us. Ma'am,
We're not
you are
supposed
not,
to.
excuse me. No, you're going into his life. You're bringing 1, 2, 3 people to a man. And he's supposed to share you with your children, share you with their fathers, because you have to deal with them in some form or fashion. He's supposed to share all of that. Please make it make sense to where you can't even share his time with another woman. And he's got to share you with all that.
You know what? He's going to enjoy to share all
No,
that
ma'am.
with
No,
you. He's
ma'am. Make
going
the
to
math
enjoy
make.
it.
No,
He's
don't
going
give
to
me the
fall
feelings.
in love
Don't give me
with
the
his.
feelings. Make the math make sense. You got 1, 2 children, 1, 2 fathers. That's 4 people he has to share you with. That's 1 woman split between 1, 2 kids, 2 fathers. That's
And
1
it's
man.
not coming
This
with
is
no
what it looks
baby
like,
father
ma'am. This is
drama.
what it looks like. 1
I can't even
man,
talk, you
1
guys. I
woman,
can't
2
talk.
kids, 2 men. Look, chick. Don't get mad at me because you sound crazy. He shared you with these 2 men.
Yes.
And now you got to share you with 2 kids.
Yes. 2 great kids. 2 well-behaved kids.
And see, and the thing is, man, what you don't want to
2
accept,
loving kids.
what you don't, and that's nice. Man, I'm not saying anything about your children,
I know.
but the fact of the matter is, a man doesn't have to. You would be lucky to get a man, and that's the problem. And this is the problem, lady. Everybody listening, women like you, man, have been told and made to believe that your value is higher than a man, to where even when you do things that we all know lowers your value, that you still think it doesn't change, and a man still needs to come in and pay the highest price, meaning monogamy and potentially marriage with you.
Yes.
But you're not coming in at an untouched level.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
let's
that
just say, let's just say,
so
let's
that
just
makes
say,
me
let's just say
lesser.
this for argument. Let's just say this for argument. Let your hands go off this. Let's just say you believe what I believe. Let's just say you believe what I believe in this instance, that you would be lucky to have a man, period. If you believe what I believe, answer the question. If you'd be lucky to have a man, period, would it be all right to share it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Thank you. You all have a great night.
See, I want you guys to understand, man. I want you guys to understand this is the mindset. When they got to run because it does not make any sense. This woman has shared her body with 2 men. She got 2 kids and 2 baby daddies talking about my value hasn't gone down. My value is actually maintained. It's actually going to go up because your life is going to be so great and wonderful. My kids, the men are like, the math ain't mathing. So to my critics and detractors, I want you to understand that is the market. That's not a one-off. That's not an extreme case. That is representative of the marketplace. A large swath of 100% of marriage age women, I would say she represents at least 30% of the marketplace. At least. That mindset. And then, of course, when it comes right down to it, let me bounce because I can't really substantiate. A man, I want you guys to understand that, yeah, gentlemen, understand that women who have children with other men are telling you that your value is lower than theirs. Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm not
And
sure. There's a bunch of people here.
Okay, 3 people. Hey, okay, first one. What's your first name?
I'm Emily.
Emil.
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 Ja.
Emil. And then man with the bonnet.
Ja.
Ja.
Yes.
How old are you? Starting the first one. I'm gonna call you 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Number 1. How old are you?
35.
You're number 2, but I'll call you 1. Up top. How old are you?
I'm 32.
32. And how old are you? Huh?
30. 30.
30. Okay. Number 1. What do you think about sharing a man?
I actually don't see anything wrong with it,
Okay.
depending on the situation. It's really no big deal. It's more of an emotional thing that women can't get over. I feel like if a person is upfront with you and honest, it should actually work better as a community. And it's just even the men and women marrying and that not happening in the Black community is already a fail. So why not put 3 people together and actually come up with something constructive if you're doing it in an appropriate way? And
Let me make sure everybody. So, man, up top, number 2. What do you think on the subject?
I sort of agree with her, but I actually came on to kind of ask what you're thinking when you suggest a lifestyle like this. Like, what sort of things are you thinking? Are you thinking like one of us is a wife and this person has girlfriends, or like, are we all girlfriends? Are we doing like a polyamorous like family thing? Like, what is your suggestion?
Well, okay. Well, what we call it may be whatever, but it does become a poly situation. And it comes down to simply this: numbers. There are not enough men. But ma'am, at the bottom, John, I'm going to get back to you and answer your question, John, but I want to get your point of view. What do you think?
I disagree. I wouldn't share a man, but I do understand her views.
Okay. Do any of you have children?
I do.
yes,
You have 2 children, John?
I do.
2
How
also.
many fathers?
2.
Okay. And you, ma'am, up top, you have 2 kids or 1?
2 kids, 1 father.
Okay, ma'am. And number 1, you have 1 kid?
1.
1 kid. Okay. All you are coming to the marketplace that have been shared. And John, I'm gonna go to you. How can you say you wouldn't want to share a man when he has to share you with your 2 children and the man you created? That's 1 person being shared with 4 people.
What do you consist of sharing? Am I sharing my physical body? Am I sharing my love? Am I sharing my nurturing, my care for my baby fathers? I have a husband as well. So what am I sharing?
Okay. Well, if you already have a husband, why are we, that doesn't need to be here. Because I don't want to disrupt what you got
Why?
going
That's
on.
tempered goods, though.
Excuse me,
One
man.
of my baby fathers,
Stop.
my first baby father isn't my husband.
Stop. You're a married woman?
So what, Kev? That
I'm,
makes me.
look,
I'm eligible for your conversation.
all right. So I'm going to go on to the women I'm going to talk to. I don't know why y'all think y'all can just come over here and do what you want to. So I want you to understand that you said up front, ma'am, you said how would we be sharing that? What is, as a woman with 2 kids, were you married before?
No,
Okay,
no,
so
my baby father left.
why does the nature of the arrangement matter now? Fair
Why
question.
because honestly, when I think about it, I think that I kind of will be sharing a man for the rest of my life because I'll be sharing my baby father with whoever he decides to be with. So I don't necessarily have to have sex with him anymore to be sharing him automatically now.
Well,
He's part of my family that I'm connected to.
right.
Ooh,
But
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
have to go
asking,
though.
what I'm asking is, you already have a child, right? So, and you didn't require marriage before, so would you require marriage now? All right, they bounced. The baby started crying.
Yeah.
The woman who, I'm not going to ask, you're already married. So you wouldn't mind sharing.
No.
Okay.
If it came
Why
down, if it
why do
came
you
down
seem like you
to,
have such a more laid back attitude and seem like most women have a knee jerk reaction to it? It's like when they know the math is not on the side.
because I've been through all walks of life. I've been through, you know, the one having the control, the one not having the control, the one. So it's like, once you kind of peep, like, okay, I could be the best woman I could be, and a person's still gonna do what they're gonna do. It's just not something you should live in fear about. Like, it's more important things in life, you know?
You mentioned something that I want to touch on, fear. Uh, I think a lot of women make decisions in
Scared,
relationships based on fear.
scared men don't live.
You don't trust men. You're always worried about somebody hustling, overdoing, and you bring all that. And what I'm trying to find is women who actually come into relationships in good faith understand that you can't control. You can only control so much. So, would it be better? I haven't heard a compelling argument to why women don't want to share, and especially, I'm gonna say this too, especially if you already have kids, you've shared yourself. Now,
It's more so of a learned behavior.
that's what a lot of men think. Go ahead.
It's more so of a learned behavior, I feel like, and it's like a cliche feeling like you've heard someone else say it and you just pick up on it and say, oh no, that's just, but it's like, I think about like 2019, I just hit a point where I'm just like, it's really not that big of a deal as long as a person is honest, as long as a person has an agreement and they stick to that agreement. If you want to switch them up, if you don't like that one, we can switch them up and get another one. But as long as it's some type of understanding, everyone's clean, everyone's tested, that person doesn't have extra people on the side. I don't understand what the big problem is if it really came down to it. Of course, everybody wants one person, but
Right.
I don't understand women is just like, oh no, oh no. I mean, sometimes you do meet people where you may not get 100% of everything you may like and want in that person, but it's enough for you to be like, you know what, all right. And then if it's somebody else that makes up in other ways that they may be lacking, it's not a competition.
I think the main
Y'all
thing is
both got to
about having the
juice.
conversation up front.
I think
Hmm.
it's
Here's the
about
thing.
security.
Excuse me,
Security. Whereas the guys nowadays can't make a woman feel
ma'am. You're
secure
married.
with another one.
You're married. You don't. You're not dating. It
Why
doesn't
you
matter.
not married? Why are you on here
That's
hosting
what I'm trying to
shows
tell
with all
you.
these damn women,
I try to be
but I
reasonable. This
can't
is
talk?
what's wrong with somebody's wife on here with a bonnet, got an attitude. That woman ain't nobody better married. Hello, you were trying to get on here the other day. How are you doing?
Hi, how you doing, Kevin?
See, I want my critics and detractors to understand that you get upset with the way you feel like I respond, but you never talk about how rude women and rude people come on here acting. So how old are you, ma'am? You need to hold your phone
Oh,
steady.
can you see me? I'm sorry, this is better.
Yeah, you need to keep your phone steady. It's jumping all over the place. How old are you?
I'm 31.
All right, we're talking about sharing tonight. Do you have any kids?
I have one son, yes.
Okay, what do you think about the concept especially if a woman over 35, over 40, having to share a man?
I mean, it's happening anyway, so it's better to understand it and know rather to be hurt behind it and, don't take the time to really understand. I used to be in a poly relationship. So
Okay.
when I was 23, I dated a 35-year-old man at the time, and his girlfriend was 33. And we
Okay.
lived together. We did all that.
Oh
And it
yeah,
was
you single. You got the single woman beat going on back there. Beep. That's
who,
smoke
me?
detector.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a
I
dead
gotta
ass
check.
tail.
Listen, I'm funny. I
Ain't
need
no
to
man gonna
change
live with
that.
that
I,
shit.
I'm
We would
definitely
rather
gonna
jump
I
change
off
hate
buildings.
it. Yes, I need to change my smoke detector, Kevin. I do.
No, you need a man.
Huh?
You need a man.
I do. I do.
Men come with smoke. We come with batteries in hand to change them fucking smoke
I
detectors.
bet. I bet. I'm
First time we
looking
at
up.
your
I'm
house, we're
looking.
like, oh, beep. Oh, that shit won't. No, hold on. I gotta go to the store real
No,
quick.
I'm looking though. I'm trying to, I'm trying to get there, but slowly but surely.
Okay, let
But
me bring somebody up because you said you were involved in a poly relationship.
I
Um,
was.
I'm gonna say something, and I want you ladies to understand the spirit in which I'm saying. Anybody we're sharing you with, men got a problem with that. So you got a kid, you're already in a poly relationship from a man's standpoint because your time, your career, anything we're sharing you with. Hey, how are you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. And was that just smoke detector too? Was that still you?
No,
That's mine.
no,
I need
my,
That's you.
that's
All
not
right.
mine.
All right. So what do you
Actually,
think about the concept of sharing a man, especially
you
if you're over
know,
35?
I feel like once I'm 35 and if I'm still single, I would have to be okay with it.
Well, yeah,
Like I'm
what
20
do you think about it now?
right now. I don't want to have to share a man. I have shared a man before. But like I would rather not, you know.
Okay, so what I put in the post was says, ladies, there are more account executives, that means the bottom level, than directors and vice presidents. Any organization, account executive is the entry level. The higher up you go, there are less jobs. So if you want something higher up, there's less. If you're over 35 and want to keep your lifestyle, it's time to share a man, public man like it. But if you're 25 to 37, 27, well, I say 27 to 35, that's the danger zone. It's best to get real about your expectations, get real clear about your sexual marketplace value and outcome. So you're 28.
Yeah.
How serious have you gotten about what you want to have your life look like by the time you're 35?
I, honestly, not that serious. I'm trying to get to that point where I am serious and really figuring out like what I want my life to look like.
Well, here's what it's going to look like. At 35, you're going to be sharing them in.
Okay.
That's what it looks like. So nobody told you, I'm telling you right now. Because at 28 years old, you're like, I don't know. Okay, cool. At 35,
and the 7 years go
1
fast.
3. If you're lucky, 1 or 2. If I could tell y'all some of the women I talked to today, women that y'all all know, every last one of y'all would say these are bona fide bad chicks. Professional, educated, beautiful, black. Every last one of them was like, I understand. Now, if women up here, because I'm going to tell you, this is where I heard this from. So at 28, you have a chance to change the outcomes.
I
But
do.
you got to do something about it.
What do I do? I'm going out, I'm trying to date.
Well, that's a different show. That's a different show. But the one thing you don't do is you don't act so entitled. Like what are you doing right? What are you doing other than watching Instagram and YouTube?
I go out. I go out. I've been trying to put myself in positions to where I am in the
Do you
spots
have a
where
college degree?
I do. I have a business management degree, and I'm currently in Houston. I have a pretty
You
decent
can't.
job.
Okay. Well, the thing is, I asked because it's therapy. You got to change the software before you change anything else.
Yeah.
And the thing is, far too many women are walking the software. You can put yourself in a place, but there you are.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness, that smoke detector. I want everybody to
Let
get.
me
I want everybody to send 25 cents on Cash App to old girl.
Don't do me like
I
that.
got
No, I'm just messing
Drop
with you.
the
I'm just
cat.
messing with you.
let
I'm
me
gonna bring
just
somebody back in
let me
though.
mute it though. I don't want you to
Well, I'm gonna have to bring somebody else in. I got to keep the panel circulating. So I
Okay, see
appreciate
you later.
Bye bye. Thank you, Miss. I'm gonna bring somebody else in too to keep it circulating. Appreciate you being at least trying to have the conversation. I know it's, ladies. I'm not saying this is a perfect solution. That's what I need everybody. I'm not saying it's a perfect solution, but I'm saying, especially in Black America, if you're over 40 and a woman, we can't go back in time. And what's the other alternative? Because I know a lot of people don't say they don't like this or don't like that, but what I never hear is what they do offer. So appreciate it. I'll bring some other folks in. So at 28, you say you're just kind of.
I mean, shit, to figure it out. Like, I should have been figured it out. Yeah, for sure. And like you said, therapy, I've been thinking about that. I do think that I would benefit from that, both personally and for my future partner, if I do ever find him or if he finds me. But, I mean,
In other words,
learn.
I'm not doing nothing. See, and this is what men hear. This is what men hear.
Okay.
Wah, 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 wah. I'm doing not a mother flipping thing. And that's fine.
No,
You're
it
40.
doesn't.
When you're 40, you'll be second or third in the rotation.
Okay.
That's okay. But see, what happens is I need you to understand today that if that becomes a likely outcome, 35 plus, that's what you prepared for. Because now
Right.
you got your time and you're not doing anything with it. It's like the women I'm talking to, 40 plus, they prioritize other things while they were in their prime. Okay, ma'am, how are you doing down at the bottom?
I'm good, Kevin. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 27.
27. Ma'am, the lady just came in. How old are you?
I'm 38.
38. So you're 28, 27, 38. So 27-year-old. What do you think about the concept of sharing a man? Be honest.
I do not agree to that at all.
Okay. 38. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I don't agree to it.
All right. So we're going to start at 38 first. Do you have any children?
Yes, I do.
27. Do you have any kids?
I have 2 kids.
Okay. 38. How many kids? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
2.
Okay. How many fathers? 1, 2.
My ex-husband, 1.
So why don't you? What do you disagree? Or why don't you agree?
What I don't want is I was able to get married and it didn't work out. You know, we both went our separate ways. We were married for about 15 years, so it was good. It was okay.
Okay.
But what I wouldn't want is to accept someone that I have to share, because I would not want to give that example to my daughter,
Okay.
just to avoid all of that in the future.
Okay. You have 2 kids?
Yes.
You have a son too, or just 2 daughters?
I have, my son is 12 and my daughter's 19.
So think about the example you'd be giving to your son, that he should accept a woman with 2 kids?
For my son, if he has to, if that's his choice, where
No. Now, see, I want you to understand how differently. When you said you don't want to set a bad example for your daughter, but I'm saying, what about your son? And you went to his choice. I mean, before he makes his choice, we talk about the example.
yeah, I wouldn't want him. Yeah, I wouldn't want him to be with anybody that has kids, for both of them.
Okay, so I think you ladies need to start putting what your son sees ahead of what your daughter does. Because
And
let me tell you why. Because if you don't like the kind and caliber of man that's in the world, you got to create a better man.
And that's exactly what I agree 1,000%.
Okay.
I agree with that.
But I'm gonna challenge you though. You're divorced. Just so we know, who filed for divorce?
I did.
Okay. You want to share what grounds it was on?
I didn't feel that there was like a mutual work towards the
The
relationship.
irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, basically.
Reagan fucked the world when he made no fault divorce because that means nothing to us as men. But what we do know is right now, and I'm coming to you, ma'am, in a second. At 38, you've already been married.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 2 kids. Man, you've got as high as you can, as any woman can get, and that wasn't good enough. So a man that you would get with has to share you with 1, 2 kids, and an ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
One man has to share 1 woman with 3 people. Make that math work.
If you put it like that, you're right. But I have my realistic expectations of the person that I will end up. And I'm not going to shoot like everybody else that thinks, oh my God, I need the top tier. That's not going to happen. I know my reality. And if I don't have
it doesn't matter if you want top
and
tier or not, but man,
and
even
it's
an average, good, decent man,
Mhm.
he doesn't deserve any less than a high value man.
I'm sorry?
Even an average, decent, run-of-the-mill man doesn't deserve less respect. When did men back in the day who were average, middle class, run-of-the-mill, have to share their wife with 4 people or 3 people? Back in the
I hear
day, 100 years ago, 80 years ago, you got married and your wife had your kids. And any kid in the house, anything your wife was doing, that was part of your family. So she was investing in your legacy. Right now, a man would be coming into your life and he's splitting the time with your kids, co-parenting with another man, and do you work?
Yes.
And a job.
Well,
So,
1 kid.
ladies, I just need you to think about the math. Think about the math. If I'm your man, how much of your time do I actually get?
In all honesty, I can only give you, in the beginning, I'm going to let you know about 70%.
So that means I can go get the 30 someplace else or just don't get it.
And if you decide and that's what you want to go for, then we're not going to work out. That's just plain and simple.
So you can come to the table with 70% of your time, but I got to give you 100% of my commitment.
For me, if you have kids, if you have a job, if you have hobbies,
but okay,
if
but
you have
most
all
men
of
don't
that,
have kids. Most men don't have kids. So I just want to do the math, ma'am. I just want to stick to the math. Math is logic. You can come to the table, give me 70% of your time at best, but I got to give you 100% of my commitment. Why is that a good deal for me? Make the business make sense.
It is a good deal if you don't have kids. If you don't have kids, it's a bad deal, and you should run. Okay. If you don't have kids. But what my realistic goal is,
51% of black men are single. Most men don't have kids. Most guys don't.
What is the statistic on there, or what did you say?
51%. Black men in particular, 51% of black men are single and childless. 61% in the middle class. That's why I talked about Future earlier. That one has 8 kids by 8 different women. A small percentage of the men have always made a large percentage of the men. 1/16, 1 in every 16 people shares Genghis Khan's DNA. This is why I don't understand from a historical and sociological standpoint, women have always shared the best men. And if you want a man that can meet your standard, man, do you think he can meet another woman's standard?
Yeah, he probably can.
Okay. Do you think your standards are below, average, or above?
My standard, I would say realistically, are below.
Below?
Below.
Okay. Well, all right. Ma'am, 27. You said you don't agree. I'm coming back to you. Thank you. 27. Why don't you have 1 kid or 2?
2.
The digitized lady. 2 kids?
Yes,
How many
2
fathers?
kids. 1.
How many fathers? Were you married or not?
No, not married.
Okay, so why do you disagree? Go ahead.
I understand your point of view, where you're coming from, where if any men I was to be with, he is sharing me and the 2 kids and the father. But at the same time, like, if the father is not in the picture or doing what he's supposed to do, how is that still sharing?
Well, you still haven't told me why you disagree with the notion of sharing a man. I'll answer your question, but why you disagree with sharing time, sharing your man with other
Um,
women?
I just feel like it's a waste of time because I mean I already have 2 kids, so if I do decide to be with a man, if I am putting 100% of my time into you, I want the same thing back, and I would not want to
But ma'am, you
share.
can't put 100% of your time with a man. Ma'am, something's wrong with your connection. But as a woman with children, you can't put 100% of your time in a man. You mean 100% of the time you have left?
Yes,
Okay, so again, do you have a job?
yes,
Okay. Um, you have 2 children and a full-time job and an ex. I mean, ladies, do y'all not see the math from the men's standpoint? If you were a man, what would you be thinking right now? That a woman with kids and a job and an ex, and I only get a certain amount of time, but I got to give you 100% of my commitment.
So are you saying that if men have to share, if we have kids, or, you know, that we should be okay with sharing a man? Is that what
Say
you're
again?
saying?
Say again?
So basically, like, if we expect a man to be okay with us, or be okay with them sharing us, our baby fathers, and our kids, we should be okay sharing them with other women, is what you're saying?
I'm saying you're not a virgin. If in this situation with kids, you've already been shared.
Yeah.
You come through the door with commitments. I was
So
actually talking about women with no kids, but women with kids, you got even less of a claim on a man's time.
yeah.
That's why we kind of got here with the woman that had the kids. I'm like, whoa. But I want you guys to understand the way that I originally said it was women over 35, and because your sexual marketplace value is lower, just because of age and things like that. But the more things you put on it, the lower the value becomes. But that woman came through the door with 2 kids by 2 different men, talking like she's a 9 or a 10. And she's actually like a 2 or a 3 on the sexual marketplace totem pole. And and that's what men are thinking. That's why men are like, what are y'all talking about? But what it goes to show is the value women put on a man. Y'all, whether you say it or not, you put your value above ours. That's why you expect us to accept your children and your job and everything else. Okay, Miss 27-year-old. You asked me about men and kids. Go ahead and ask the question again. You broke up a little bit. Mississippi Wireless. Okay.
you said man.
Ma'am, get
Are
close
you
to the
want me to
window or
answer the
something.
question?
You got to get close to the window. You're breaking up. Everybody else is in frame. You look like a puzzle. So okay. So what is the objection? 38. What's the objection? I get it that you've been married, you got 2 kids, but practically, you're a middle-aged woman with 2 kids. Why do you still believe you should get the same level of commitment and value as you did when you were a young childless woman?
Honestly, I just feel that in my mind, I already have it made up. I already had that marriage experience, the family life. I've had it. Like you said, I already hit the top, my peak. So by me thinking in that sense, which is true, either I'm going to take what I want or what I need or what I feel that I can put up with, or I'm not. I already experienced it. And if I can get anything that for me is acceptable, because I'm not going to be sharing with him. He's not going to be sharing with me. He's not going
Period.
to
Let me share you with your kids. I've been a,
with one.
I've been a stepfather.
With one, exactly.
Man,
So
one period. He's sharing you
it,
with a, he's sharing with your, he's sharing you with your kid and a job. So
yes.
so let me ask you a question. What you expect to have continual raising value as you age?
No. It's going to lower.
When?
But expectation is already there. If I have to share with anybody, I'm not doing it. Like you said, I'd rather buy a dog and I'd rather be alone. I'm being.
But I need you to understand what you're really doing when you say that. It sounds empowering, but it's really fucked up. Let me tell you why. Because your son is going to make sure he's going to live his life to be around you because you will get old.
Yeah.
That will limit your child. Your daughter will also feel, your children are going to feel that mom needs us near because she's a single woman. And it's going to impact their relationships. I know
No.
what I speak of very well. Listen, daughters, man, I speak about mother-daughter stuff all the time. It sounds cool when you're 38, but when you're 58 and your son and your daughter are trying to get out and become adults on their own, they got to factor in mama. Is that fair?
No, it's not, which they're not being raised in that way.
Man, it doesn't. They're human. It doesn't matter how you think they're being raised.
And in my culture, regardless, that happens. Regardless, in my culture, it happens. Right?
What culture is that?
I'm Latina. I'm Mexican.
Well, in your culture, you're also supposed to stay in your marriage.
If the man is willing to provide, if he's not a hardworking, if he's not providing, if he's not putting in work, then
you shouldn't have married him.
People change over the years, so you get one person.
This is bullshit.
No.
Man,
Period.
Come on, hold on. Man, and here's the funny thing. You can be right, and it sounds real empowering, but your culture doesn't change the fact that this is how kids act. That's why so many women, especially in our community, have come out and asked me, if you do more videos on mother-daughter stuff, this is why so many of our women are fucking unmarried because their mothers aren't married. And they got to stay close. Your mama married 27?
I'm 28, but yeah,
28.
my mom's married.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about. And you say you'd rather die alone. Okay, so you saying that you would rather, if you cannot get what you want.
Not entirely what I want, just not sharing. I'm not doing that. I don't want to.
Okay, that's fine. Ma'am, that's fine. But I want to be clear. A man is sharing you because you've already had somebody else's kids, and that's it. He's going to be if he marries you, he'd be a stepfather. So your children are going to be getting some of his money. It's just going to happen. Yes, ma'am. Christmas gifts, birthday presents, Thanksgiving turkey. Ma'am, I've been there on that side before. Y'all need to stop with the bullshit. Y'all act like your kids exist in a vacuum. And what I want people to understand is how selfish you guys are. You're the most selfish group of women that has ever existed on this fucking planet. Me. It's all about you. So how do you get a culture that you're in your culture, ma'am? How do you get a culture with so many selfish women?
It's not. Unfortunately, not all of them are like that. There's a lot of marriages that are older. They've been, that they had over 30 years old, where they don't say the truth. They are not happy. The women are not happy.
I asked you, how do you get a culture with selfish women?
How do you get a culture with selfish women? I don't know how to answer that.
You don't.
I don't know. I'm not.
You don't.
I don't know.
You get chaos. and older women didn't prioritize happiness. That's the problem. Y'all think you're supposed to be happy. Y'all need to grow up. It ain't about being happy. Older women, other generations prioritize family, community. They lived a selfless life. Modern women are selfish as French toast. And that's why I have no problem telling y'all to kick rocks and die a cold death alone. I have no problem telling y'all that because y'all look around and look back at the cultures and the communities and the things that women did before you and the sacrifices and everything else everybody made, and they did not do it to have a bunch of selfish, entitled women saying, "My way or the highway."
It's not like that. It's not. If I'm a good woman, which I was for 15 years, married, everything, I do have value still.
I don't say you don't have value, ma'am. I'm not saying, and that's the thing. I'm not saying you don't have value. What I'm ultimately asking is, I don't understand why you guys can not separate the two thoughts. Mm-hmm. You are being shared, ma'am. You have 2 kids, an ex-husband, and a job. A man has to take what's left. And he doesn't even, and usually if you have 2 kids, at least they're mine. All the time you're putting into other things, that's time you're not investing in me, in mine. Men are territorial. This is why men listen to this and they're like, no. Hey, how are you doing, ma'am? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
35.
35. Okay. What do you think about the topic? Share or no share?
No. Well, especially if you're talking about sharing sexually, absolutely not. There's more involved. I have 2 children.
Are you married or are you single?
I'm widowed.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, sexually. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, ladies, but if you guys would just take the time to go study how humans work, you'd understand that you don't get 7 billion people on the planet with monogamy. You get, man, ladies, listen, when have the top 20%, 10%, 5% of any culture of men ever been strictly monogamous and had only one wife? Ever in history, any continent, any monetary system, any system of government, when does it ever happen? That was the norm. So what you ladies are sitting here with this almost like righteous indignation.
I wouldn't necessarily.
Then what do you propose? So if you don't want to share, okay, let's take it your way. How old is your youngest child?
Mine's 7.
Okay. So would you like to remarry?
Absolutely. One day.
Are you employed?
Yes.
So arguably, a man has your 2 children, your 1 job, and you. So he's sharing you with 3 things right now. You got any pets?
Yes.
What do you have?
Golden Retriever.
So a man comes, hey, buddy. So if I come through the door and want to holler at you, automatically, I can't get you, you're 40 hours a week, I gotta put that in.
But he has 40 hours as well, right? So it kind of washes out.
That's fine. That's why I said, but here's the thing. That's true.
Okay.
But
washes out.
Hold on. Because I'm going to my 40. See, my 40 ends up making sure you don't have to work 40.
Period.
Well, then he gets my 40.
No, see, let me do what I'm going to do. You're 40. Make sure you can maintain what you have. My 60, make sure you don't have to work anything but 20, going to 0. Because that's what the kind of men I'm talking about. Men who put the time in. I work more, but let's keep it moving. But even if it's just 40, that washes out, right? but then
Okay.
you got 1, 2 kids, and those kids require time.
And this is a single man with no children?
Most men
That
don't
means I
have
have to deal
kids.
with his mama.
Excuse me?
Then I'm probably gonna have to deal with his mama if he's a single man and older than me, because that's what I would want. Then I would have to share with his mother, no?
But not if
Most
she's
men,
married, right? I mean,
No,
if she got some shit going on, why would you have to
we're
share?
doing this mathematically, right?
no, okay, man. You just asked about single, and no children. I said most men don't have kids, and then you automatically make your mama's boy. That ain't how that works.
No, okay. I'm just saying,
What
I'm
I want
trying to
you
figure
ladies,
out what man we're
okay, you see,
talking
what I
about.
want you ladies to understand is every time I start talking about something, you start talking about things to disqualify men. Let's talk about thorough men. Thorough
Okay.
men who have their shit together. Not fuck
Okay.
boys or dumbasses.
Oh,
Okay?
great.
Not, can we do that? So you
Yes.
got a
Let's do
man who's
it.
about his shit. He still got to share
Okay.
you with your 1, 2 kids.
Okay.
All right. So does he get 100% of your time? Because after his 40 hours, okay. Then why should you get 100% of his commitment?
Because he has, well, it depends, because, I come from a Christian value. So usually you don't, especially sexually, that's why I asked you about that, because if you're going
Man,
to share somebody
I
with
don't think
someone
you want to.
sexually,
I've been in church since 5 years old. Been over 3 singles ministries. You can go Old Testament and New Testament. We can go straight back to Abraham and Sarah. Don't do that. Don't do
okay.
that.
Well,
The Bible is
okay, let's
the
go
Bible
another
is
route.
the Bible is the biggest poly argument that I have. So if you want to go Christianity, game over. You just
No,
lost.
let's keep this
David,
mathematical, because that's all
David
I
and
can.
Bathsheba, that man killed. Come on, man.
Okay.
Solomon had how many wives?
Oh, I have to meet up with my partner. So.
Okay, have a good one, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
But
Nice.
man, this is a feelings-based argument for you. So I'm saying the jobs wash. You can't give me 100% of your available time, but you get 100% of my commitment. Make the math make sense.
Okay. 100% of your commitment.
Let's say you get off work at 5 o'clock, and I want to see you at 7 every day. I can't get that because you got to put time in with your kids. As soon as I'm going to get you is after the kids are squared away.
Okay, granted.
All right, but the time, so that means where did that time come from? My time.
So you're saying while you have your time, you want to be entertained with another female.
I'm saying that you are putting investment into other people. I can put investment into other people as well.
And then bring
Why is
back
that? Okay, man.
some
Why is
shit
that?
when
Why?
you talk.
Okay, ma'am. Think about what I'm saying. You having other investments with people. I'm just sitting alone waiting for my turn.
I mean, if you feel like that, if a man feels like he's got to be alone and waiting for your turn, then that's
Okay,
then
ma'am.
that
What
means
else? Okay, ma'am.
he's
If
not the
other
man
men
for
are
me.
doing
There's
their
women
lives,
that are okay with that, obviously.
See, instead of just answering the question and saying, yeah, that is kind of fucked up, you're still going to try to turn it around to some man. See, what I want you to understand is
Each
your
their
life
own.
is full. A man typically doesn't, when a man comes to get a woman, that's a woman, especially if we're going to talk about Christians. God gave his instructions to Adam. We're supposed to be in our purpose. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And you're supposed to come along and help us on our purpose to tend the garden. But the way this works, I'm coming to tend your garden.
Okay. But now with my being me, I would attend back to the same garden because I am a giver, a pleaser, and a
That's
provider.
fine.
Like
That's what you're
in
supposed to
every
do.
way, spiritually,
But that's what you're
emotionally.
supposed to do in my garden. You're supposed to do everything you just said in my garden. In my
Correct.
garden. In my garden, where my seeds, my soil, not yours, mine. So everything you're going to do, you're supposed to do anyway. It's not over and above. I'm supposed to get that anyway.
Okay. Anyways.
Anyway,
And then what do you?
so stop the math. My garden, you're going to be a giver and pleaser, and you're supposed to do that, helping me in my garden on my purpose. But
Correct.
now, the way it is right now, you already have a garden to tend to. So I got a garden over here that requires your presence, but you can't because you're investing in your garden and your project.
One big garden.
No, that's another man's seed. That's another man's garden. How are your children an asset to me? They don't have my name. They don't have my lineage. They don't have my DNA. They just get my resources. They just get my food, fertilizer. I don't get the benefit of their bounty. That's why that's why I said I want you guys to understand that women are so detached from reality today that this argument was originally about women, single women with no kids, but the women with kids expect no, but it doesn't matter, because 80 years ago, if you're a woman with kids, you would have been happy, assuming you'd have been cool with somebody just considering even being with you, because you're supposed to be off the market till you die.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's supposed to be. But now mothers are like, no. You get me. I have my prior commitments, and you can have whatever portion of my time that's left. I'll give it to you, because you're still gonna have time for yourself. So a man gets a part of your free time, but he's supposed to give you 100% of his commitment. Is that
I wouldn't say 100%. I wouldn't want 100%, to be honest, at this age. But you're talking about commitment or just plain cheating or being with somebody else. Like, you're really putting your stuff in somebody else, and you are wasting the chance of you bringing something back.
That's not cheating. You know I'm going to sleep with somebody else. I tell you.
Then we wouldn't be in a relationship.
So while you're tutoring your kids, I'm bending her ass over the couch. You know what I'm
doing.
So
then that's not 100%. That's not 100% of the commitment. What they got left, because you ain't giving me 100%. Bringing back some disease. It's a nastiness.
I want you to understand.
No.
And that's why I want you to understand. This is a Christian, y'all. This is why I want you to understand that Christianity stuff. That's why I want your audience. All I tell you is, all you have to do to get the truth out of a woman is to trigger her. You understand, when she came through the door, talking about Christian beliefs. Here it is.
I am still always Christian. I didn't say I was perfect.
Okay, but I want you guys to understand, this is an old position. You really want the truth, trigger them. And then the truth comes out. Man,
yeah, what's the truth?
The truth is you're unrealistic and selfish. Because you...
Oh, wait.
Excuse me. Don't
tell me how I'm
selfish. Don't tell me. Tell me how I'm selfish. No. See, what you're going to do, well, it's not what shit's going to happen over here. You may run shit over there, but not over here.
No.
I run shit over
Sir,
here. I
actually respect you and actually agree with a lot of what you say. I just want to have a conversation with you.
You're losing the argument. You're losing the argument. So what you're trying to do is overtalk, and they're not going to make you do any better. Ma'am, at the end of the day, let's cool it down. But the bottom line is this. Ma'am, you're a working woman with 2 kids. You have very little free time after your children.
Okay.
Then that time after your children and your pet, the time that you have left, 100% of it is not going to go to any man. You need some time alone. So how much of your time, how much of your day, in a 24-hour day, how much of a day can a man expect to get from you? Think about it, reasonably.
If he's worth it, I'll make priority over.
No, man. See, I want you to understand.
I mean, but then again,
I want you to understand. Every time I ask a question, they always go
to
disqualify the man. I said that a man that's thorough about his business. Stop with the disqualification of men. Can you at least do that? Ma'am, stop with the disqualification. I'm not going to play that. I don't, if he's thorough and he's this, why would you be dealing with him if he ain't worth it?
Vice versa.
That's not the question. Answer the question, or I'm going to have to bid you a good evening. Man,
go ahead and tell me the question again. Go ahead.
How much of your time, in a 24-hour day, how much of your time can your man expect to get after your work, your children, your pet, your downtime?
You want a percentage or actual hours?
How many hours do you sleep?
6.
6 hours, so there's 18 left. You work an 8-hour day, that's 14.
14. The kids usually go to sleep pretty early, so yeah.
What time is that?
What time do they go to sleep? 8.
8 o'clock in the summer?
No, sir. 8 o'clock every day of the week, and maybe summers they'll stay up later.
How old is your youngest, man?
7.
No. No, kids don't. 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock. I would believe 8 o'clock, not especially not in the summertime. I've had kids, man. It's not reasonable. Kids don't are
I
typically in bed,
have to.
ma'am.
You're
Kids
arguing
aren't,
me about my
kids aren't
kids
in bed.
going to sleep
Kids
by
aren't
a
in bed.
certain time.
Kids aren't in
This
bed.
is
But
not
here's
even a
man,
valid
you
argument.
got the little hour. You got the hour. Then how much time, though, man? How much?
Let's see here. 5 hours a day, 20 hours a
No,
week.
5 hours. No. 14 of your hours are working and sleep. Or actually, 8 hours working. And you got
To go to sleep at 8, I can stay up until 1.
Excuse me. Do you have to? I'm asking a question. Do you have to commute to work?
Yes,
How far is your commute?
5 minutes.
Okay. So you still have the fact. So you still have 8 hour day. Good commute. Then your kids. You said they're in bed by 8 o'clock. Okay. Now, if I have a job, I can't be up till 1 o'clock. I got to be productive too. So productive men are typically in bed by 11 o'clock.
Okay, I'll be tucking them in.
So at best, if I'm at your house at 8 o'clock, we have 2 hours before I got to go back home. 2 hours a day I get you.
That's all you can give me? 2 hours?
Oh, man, I got
I mean,
we don't live together.
so he doesn't give 100%.
Listen to the math, ma'am.
I wouldn't give 100%.
Listen to the math. Listen to the math. At 8 o'clock, your kid's in bed. If I'm show up at 8 o'clock on the dot, I got to be in bed at 11 because I got to be productive, remember? Actually, I got to be in bed before that because I work more. But bottom line, from 8 to 10, that's 2 hours maximum. 2 hours. And I got to come to your house. You're not coming to my house because your kids are in bed. Right? So at best, I got to come see you and get 2 hours with you Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. On the weekends, if I believe you, the kids are in bed, sleep at 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday night. First time I've heard that in American history in the last 20 years, but okay. At best, I get you 2 hours a day.
Okay.
Okay, but then you get 100% of my fidelity.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I want you to understand, guys. It doesn't matter.
And that makes me selfish.
I want you to understand. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you use facts, data, statistics, logic. If it runs counter to their feelings, it gets rejected and it gets dismissed as being invalid. And this is
what's invalid? It's
I get 2 hours of your time, and that's fair. That's fair. Other than saying so. And you have a son?
Yes, sir.
So if your son happened to choose to deal with a woman with a child, you'd say, yes, son, that's a fair deal. That's a good deal. You get 2 hours a day with her, and she's got her work, her job, her kids, her dog. And actually, you don't even get 2 hours because you still need downtime. You still need downtime to get to walk the dog. You don't even get that. So 2 hours is very limited. You'd say, yes, son, I raised you to be a solid, thorough man. Yes, you should only get 2 hours from a woman for 100% of your commitment. And you got to be a thorough Christian man, be able to protect and provide. Because if you want to get married, he would have to do those things, right?
Absolutely.
You can't
Now,
make this shit up. You've been great. You've been great because honestly, man, this is what women really think.
Oh, see, listen, you're hilarious because I agree with. I actually just started following you like 2 weeks ago, and I agree with everything you say. I am more than submissive to my man. I was like, at the same time, I am Latina, so I am a little dominant. But however, I believe in catering to your man all the way.
That does not that means. That's not
No, I'm just saying I am. My mom raised us to serve a man.
What I'm saying is I can't just let you say I'm Latina. That's not what that means. Maybe your family, but not. I know many Latina women who are dominant.
Oh, yes, you're right. There are very submissive ones. Okay, I understand what you're saying. However, then I am very submissive to a man usually. With that said, in a relationship, I mean, it's each their own, correct? I mean, if a man came up to me and said, "Listen, I want an open relationship," and he was such a great man and great provider, and I didn't have to work anymore and all that, I might want to say I'll consider it. But to be honest, in my thought process, I want to grow old with someone, right? Because I don't want to do that to my kids. So I want to grow old with a man that I love, and I know that I share that commitment, that trust, and that connection. That's not something I'm sharing with someone else.
Yeah, but he has to share you with everything.
I'm older. If I was younger, then
ma'am, but he has to share you with your life. And he has to give you everything that he is, and he has to be a provider and everything else. And see, what you basically just described, people, was
he doesn't have
conditional.
to be a provider.
I'll let you speak. I'll let you speak. Don't, please. I'll let you go on uninterrupted. Thank you. What you basically described is about conditional femininity. If a man can do X, Y, Z and make it comfortable enough for me, then I can be a submissive woman. I can be feminine and cater. But if I have to do what I'm doing now, then you get what's left. It's modern woman, man. It's modern Christian feminist. And here's the thing, man. Here's the uncomfortable, sobering reality. And I don't want you to take offense to this because it's not personal. But you can want whatever you want. How tall are you?
How tall am I? 5'7".
Dress size?
Dress size? 10.
Okay. On the open sexual marketplace, you don't have enough to demand the price you're asking for the kind of thing you're talking about.
Oh, I know. I need to lose weight. I know.
No. It's not just it's not even the way, it's the attitude. And I want you to understand, the kind of man you're talking about is an above average man. Okay? Okay. So that man has far more women as options than you. And he does not have to get with a woman who is only going to give him a couple of hours. He can get the younger, childless, Latina, submissive version of you who is all about that life. He doesn't have to take your deal. And this is what I need a lot of you ladies to understand. You talk to one another and it sounds good to your ego and your sense of empowerment, but men are like, yeah, I can't make those. The kind of men you want, they're like, man, please.
I want a daddy. I want an older man that has kids already. I don't want a pedophile that is probably just, I mean, let me not say that, but I want someone who's on my level or higher, as in mentally, spiritually, and can connect as a parent as well. Because if you're not a parent, you don't know what I'm going through. If you know what I'm saying? If you're not older.
The man that's up here, I need you to understand what I'm about to say in the spirit of it, okay?
Okay.
We don't give a fuck about what you're going through when he's up here. You need to be on his page, his garden, not yours. See, it's all about you. It's all about, you want a daddy, you want this. And I'm saying, do you not realize that you're dealing with bona fide, solid, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless women who are sitting back saying, this is my competition? Oh, they're loving it. It's like,
and then you get Amber Heard.
The man you want has a beautiful woman sitting on his lap and they're laughing at this. And now you can say, he's a dirty old man, he's a pedophile. You could be right and alone. Because what I'm saying is, man, you don't have the kind of sexual marketplace buying power for the kind of man you want. I didn't say you don't have enough for any man. I said,
I'll disagree, but okay.
Excuse me?
I said, I'll disagree, but okay.
Okay, well, I got hundreds of thousands of men on my side. You got an opinion. I do this every day. I'm not trying to be funny, man, but I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to be funny either.
You ladies come through and you talk like you often talk like y'all can make this world happen. Man, do you have today any men who fit the caliber and criteria of a man that you would submit to, admire, and marry, who are actively vetting you to be a wife?
If I was open to letting them, yeah, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm still grieving.
So in other words, you have
I have
you have
more
you
than
have
men
so what I want you
trying to
Marcus, I
talk to
want you
me.
to understand. She's such a cold chick that she has in the on deck circle. How many of these men? 1, 2, 3. How many?
I prefer not to say, but I don't really entertain it, so I don't know the number.
So she has multiple above average men, higher value men sitting in the on deck circle, just waiting. Woo.
I want to be
This
like
is this is amazing. And man, I don't know if you're if you're just the way you're coming across, man, the faces you're making, I'm just like.
Well, I'm animated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm animated, so I mean.
The thing is, there's no humbleness in you women. Y'all are some of the most
No
arrogant.
humbleness?
No. I mean, the way you're coming across is
Honestly, I don't
you're just
even know. I'm
legit.
one of the most humble
Like
people
you're
you'll
just
probably
legit. And
to
I'm
be
like,
honest.
wow,
But
man. But here's the funny thing. When I get off to these calls, I get the emails and DMs in the tears. Man, y'all, what I've noticed with modern women is y'all are really good at maintaining faith. Y'all are really good at front. Y'all are really good at making yourselves look good. Because you look at yourself on social media and y'all are really good at playing the role, but behind the scenes, you don't have the results. I'm not saying you, I'm saying modern women.
I'm broken. I need therapy. I'm broken as hell. I mean,
So
I know that.
In that case, man, why would a man that's up there need to have a woman that's already broken? See, that
I'll be
lowers your
fixed.
value.
I'm not at that
man.
season yet.
Man,
I'm not at
I
that
want you to understand.
season.
28. This is why I want you to understand. This is the market. This is why I'm gonna be honest, and I'm
Oh,
gonna take
yeah.
it away from you. I'm gonna take it
Well,
away from you.
I've been out of
I'm
the
taking it away
market
from
for
you.
17 years.
I'm gonna take it away from you. The
I don't
kind of
know.
men
I'm just
that
getting
we
back.
can overtalk me, and I'm trying to. The kind of men that women really want, they build barriers and systems and things to keep themselves away from even interacting or engaging with women at this level. Because what men ultimately want at all levels is peace.
Okay.
And one thing this interaction has not been and is shown is being with you is not a peaceful thing.
We on the show, baby. I'm putting.
Okay, yeah, we're on the show.
It's funny.
Of course it is. Of course. Have a good one. That's the marketplace, people. I mean, it gets to a point to where when they're so far behind, there's so little humility in so many women that they just got to keep up the act. They got to keep it up. They get to be more vocal. And I'm like, you're not helping.
It's easier to live in a delusional state than
Uh-huh.
to, accept reality.
No, it's really not. It's much harder. You know, alcoholics and addicts, crackheads, heroin addicts, meth addicts, them people work hard to stay high. That's a hard job. Being a junkie or an addict, being crazy is a lot of goddamn work. Being sane is peaceful. It's much easier. That shit you just saw, the energy of women like her have to put up and keeping that fake front going on is a lot of goddamn work. Mm-hmm. Black women, you hear that again. That's a lot of work. That's why you're so stressed. That's why I see so many women drinking all day long. It's like, goddamn, this is why y'all, if you want to have the truth, that's why y'all can't have an orgasm. That's why some of you are not having pleasurable sex lives. Because you're so goddamn tense all the time. You can't relax. You always wonder, who's trying to fuck over me? Who's trying to get over me? What this nigga gonna do? You know who's comfortable? Femininity is supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be relaxed. And that's what you get when you get a man. But you get a partner or a competitor, somebody has to control and this and that. That's why I let that go, so you can see what's a possible outcome. Now, what are you going to choose to do? Choose to be something different or choose to be some of the things you've seen? Because at the end of the day, one thing I want you to understand is all of these women that have been on here got to go before the male market.
Right.
They can talk all the shit they want. Men ultimately get to decide. And who gets picked.
Yeah.
And when I ask who's vetting you, they all seem to got all these high value men and on deck circles. I find most 6-figure women with high value men all wanting a man. I must be the luckiest man in the world. They all seem to find my show and tell me how many of them this guy waiting for them. But they're on Instagram and YouTube. They got so many high value men waiting on you. All right, Chica.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. That woman learned something. I want you to understand that this show was about women sharing. And I want you to understand that it's so bad, audience. You got women with kids who telling you they ain't sharing shit. Woo! So I say to my critics and detractors, you can say what you want. You can't overcome the fact that this is what they think. Hello.
Hi. I
How are
was
you?
not expecting that. I'm sorry. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. How old are you?
I had to think about this for a second. I'm 39 this year.
39. Are you single or are you married?
No, I was married. I'm divorced.
All right. So talking about sharing men, especially over
Yes.
35. What do you think?
I think you are completely accurate because you have to be realistic. I mean, when you talk about children, your energy has to be there. When you talk about a career to provide, your energy is there. You have to have time for your wellness, which means your meal prep, your gym time, and you don't have many hours left to give. That's fact.
So I think it's funny that so many women today don't realize that what they're really offering to men is so sparse. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
33.
33. So you're almost at the deciding age. Are you single or are you married?
I'm single.
Any children?
I have one.
How old?
5.
So, will you be down to share after 35?
I think living in today's world, yeah.
Now, what's different about
Definitely.
today's world than yesterday's world?
I feel that the women today are a little bit more desperate and the guys are a little bit less patient. So it's a challenge for the women that want to have a man just to themselves. I feel like it's more of
The women are more desperate and the men are less patient. Ma'am, how long have you been watching my program?
my mom tagged me in one of your videos. She's the one that watches you all the time.
So have you ever watched it? What you'll probably find when you go back and watch it is women really don't want relationships today.
That's the thing.
But you said they're desperate. Desperate for what?
Sex.
They can have sex. Why would a woman ever be desperate for sex? All you gotta do is walk out. You can get sex. You said women are desperate and men are less patient. Women are desperate for sex?
Yes.
What do you think, 39? You think she's got something here? Because I'm not understanding.
I don't know if you can generalize and say that women are desperate for sex. I think some people could be desperate for sex.
I don't think women are desperate. I don't think women are desperate for anything. I think women believe, and I think the videos have shown that women think they got all the time in the world. They can get whatever they want. All they gotta do is manifest and wish upon a star. That's why they're not willing to settle.
I've been single since I've had my son. I haven't been in any relationship.
Okay, but the market is what it is. So the reason I asked, you said in today's time, and what's different about today's time than yesteryear? Let me ask you this question. When on the face of the planet have women had men who are in the top 20%, top 10% all to themselves ever? What country, what system of government, what system of, what monetary system? Where?
I think it's always been since like forever.
Did women have had men to themselves?
No. it's just more common. It's more common now. It's, you know what I'm
No,
saying? Like,
no, ma'am, it's not. It's less common now.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, ma'am.
Wait, wait.
Are you,
Okay,
hold
so
on,
wait.
listen. Would you happen to be a Christian?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, I am.
Just go to the Bible. Abraham, Sarah, Hagar, Solomon. I mean, how many wives did these men have? Polygamy, poly relationships have always been the norm. They're less frequent today. And women, Abraham and Sarah went and got Hagar for Abraham. That's what a good woman does. Oh, 39 says, you know what, guess what, Gavin? Don't have that kid yet, but I am down for your program. I'm on your purpose. So let me go holler at the chick with the bonnet on or the thing. Go ahead and get that baby in. That's in your Bible, ain't it? Yes?
Oh yeah. It would take a strong, sure woman
I'm trying to
to be in
understand,
that
but
situation.
you just smile, you didn't say anything. I'm saying that's in the Bible, right?
No.
Right.
I'm not refuting anything that you're
I'm
saying. You're
not, I know
absolutely
39. I'm
No,
asking the other woman, is
yeah.
that in the
wow.
You're
Bible?
right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, so I don't know if you're nervous, but the answers you're giving don't seem like you're in today's world. So if women are not desperate, and men are less patient. Men are just, what do you mean men are less patient?
It just seems like they're not going to put up with it. Like you said, the higher value guys are not going to settle for those women that have lower value and put them on a pedestal like they want, like the women want. You know what I'm saying? Like they move on because there's a lot of
When did men used to have more patience?
Well, I don't know if it came out wrong. Probably don't mean patience, but just like not sticking around. Guys don't stick around like that no more.
Ma'am, we have in the black community, we have almost a 75%, almost a 72% divorce rate. 90% of divorce actions are initiated by women. How many women do you know? Who do you think leads relationships more? Boyfriend, girlfriend, and/or marriage? Who leads relationships? Is it men or women?
The marriage, the man in the marriage.
The man leaves the marriage? When
Yeah.
relationships end, when relationships terminate, when somebody ends them, who do you think ends relationships most of the time, men or women?
I think it's both.
No. I said, which one ends most? It's not 50-50.
I don't know. The men? Or is it the women?
Ma'am, I just said in our community, with the highest divorce rate, women are initiating 80 to 90% of divorces. You go ask 10 women on the street about their relationships and ask them how many they walked away from or ended versus how many the men did. So you're saying men are leaving, I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds to me like you're just not out in the world today. Which is, I guess that's something, but
what do you think?
I think you're in trouble. I think you're in trouble. You got a kid, you don't understand what's going on out here. And you don't want to.
I don't.
Well, the fact of the matter is, watch my program. You'll find out a lot. I can't bring you up to speed. But if you have a kid, I will say this. Do you want to have another kid?
No.
Do you want to be married?
At this point, I don't know.
Probably. See what I mean? We don't want to be married today. I just showed it. It's exactly what I just said. Y'all don't want to be married. So
no, I do. I do.
So I asked you if you want to be married. You said at this point I don't know, but now you say you do. But you do have a kid, a 5-year-old, right?
Yeah, I do want to be married.
Did you go to college?
Yes, I did.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
What's your degree in?
Well, I have a certificate in cosmetology and an MUA in makeup.
So you're going to be an average earner?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have the choice not to get married.
Right.
You're too broke to be single. You need a man. And I'm not supposed to say that, but yes, to get to the end of life, you don't get there on one income.
Yeah,
Much
exactly.
less with a child.
You're right.
So
I do.
if that's the
Yeah.
case, you better turn around to the world and approach it like you need it, other than whatever world you've been living in, because this conversation ain't connecting like
But
somebody
you
who
know
needs
what,
a relationship.
Kevin, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
When I go out there, and I don't know if it's because maybe I'm intimidating or I'm too strong. I mean, I have things going for myself. I have good income, and I have my own place and I have my own car and things. But it
So
just seems like guys don't really like
Off
they
today?
look at me, but
Beautiful.
they don't want
Oh,
to like approach me.
we
all
don't care
right.
about nothing
Better?
you just said. Why do we care about your car and your
Yeah,
job?
so give me Yep, the oxygen's coming in right here for you.
Why do we care about
So
your
you
car
get the
and your
normal.
No, I'm just saying that's what I have. Like I'm not walking. I'm not poor. I'm not living on the street. But I'm just saying, like,
man,
I'm not telling you what I have, what kind I have.
you're a single woman, fine, with a child, okay, and you're doing what an adult does. That
Yeah.
just makes you functional, okay? Why should a guy approach you? Why should a man approach a functioning woman with a kid? If he wants a relationship in the marriage, why should he approach you?
I don't know. I thought that's what happens.
Well, that's part of the problem. You got a kid now, so you got to grow up. You can't just think what happens. You got to know and figure it out because you're supposed to teach it. But guys aren't approaching you. The problem is what? Guys or you?
I think it's me.
There you go. Therapy.
Therapy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got therapy.
Oh, okay. I can't. Boy, woo. Oh, boy. All right. So, and I let that go not to try to be embarrassed, but I want women today are not treating relationships like they're serious. It's like men are just a toy, something to pass the time with, to keep you kind of occupied. It's almost like, have you ever seen a kitten play or a cat play with a ball of yarn or something and then get bored?
That's
Well,
yeah.
if you ever see cats, they don't do things for long, they get bored.
Yeah.
And women today seem to treat relationships like, whatever. I'll just have some sex from you. I'll take some DNA from you, and I'll have dinner from you. But I don't want to do any of this too long. I'm getting bored. Let me go find something else. Let me go run up a tree. Let me chase a cricket. Let me chase a squirrel. Let me eat a cricket. Let me do this. Some catnip. It's like, and the men are like, how are we supposed to move forward and progress and build the family, then the neighborhood, and the community, in the city, the town, the city, the nation, with women who are just, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And I'll just have babies and whatever. I'll just figure it out. It's just men can't walk through the world like that. The world is serious for us. And what men are is frustrated. Go ahead.
Why do you think it happened?
Huh?
And where do you think? I said, why happened? And where in the timeline do you think?
Okay, you start breaking up. Where do I think it happened?
Yeah, where did that shift happen? When did it happen?
Roughly around the late 60s, early 70s, with feminism, third wave feminism.
So when
You're breaking up. But you can go back and look. You can go back and look at the late 60s, at the height of the civil rights movement. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the Great Society, feminism was used to kind of blunt the gains of the civil rights movement, because they took the civil rights movement that was impacting the black community, black men and women, raising, and then here come the feminist movement to saying to black women, hey, come join us to get women's rights and equality. And we just came off our own equality fight, so our women went off saying, well, yeah, we need equality too. The difference is black men ain't have no power over black women to oppress you. You need equality with us. You already had equality. But then you get, you get feminism, the advent of abortion. So women have reproductive choice. You get better contraceptives. And then you start getting more women going to school into the workplace. So basically, Black women were chose to take all these gains, education, reproductive choice, and all this stuff. But it did not mean you had to separate from your men. It all happened to all groups of women. Then Title IX came along and women counted more. Title IX, affirmative action, and it all culminated in the 80s and 90s when Black women were given preferential treatment in hiring decisions and things like that. And the funny part is in Generation X, all the strides that have been made in the Black community struggle up through the Civil Rights Movement, Generation X pretty much turned around and said, this is all mine. The baby boomers, and Generation X kind of turned their backs on the familial traditions. And that's what we're kind of grappling with right now, whether they understood the long-term ramifications or whatever, but basically women separated themselves from their men to the point to where I don't need you. No, you don't need me for food, protection, shelter, but you've traded in your physical man for the government institutions, the police, fire, security. That's your man now.
Employment.
Who gives you a job? Get your money from the job. So what do you need a man for now? Sex, and if you decide you want to reproduce, a baby. But then after that, but you got to ask yourself, why did our women choose to oppose the relationship? Because you don't hear other women saying we don't need no man like Black women do. And that can go back down to, there's a lot of people thinking it goes back to the 13th Amendment, white supremacy, racism, generational trauma that had to do with chattel slavery. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But what we cannot do is act like that we don't have a problem. In the 60s, the single birth rate was around 25%. There was a national cry for mercy. Not 8 out of 10 kids are born out of wedlock. Black women are married at a 1 in 4 rate, and it's only declining. And even if you disagree with it, even if people disagree with everything I've ever said, you just gotta ask yourself a question. Does the modern woman, Black woman in particular, really seem to be approaching the relationship market like they really truly want to get married?
No, I know you're speaking specifically about the Black woman. I mean, I'm from Canada, so I'm surrounded by a lot of Caucasian women as well, but I find that the same sentiment and the same attitude is prevalent where I am. And so
it can be prevalent. It can be prevalent, but you also have a culture, an intact culture. We don't. So even men from Mexico, who may be from lower on us socioeconomically, they still have an intact culture where men have a position of power. That men have the position of a patriarchal society, white America, Asian American, Middle Eastern, Black. In this country, Black people have a different thing. And it's a culture thing, because when have Black men ever been on top of the community in Black America? And that's what we're kind of struggling with. What are we going to do? Do we want to look like patriarchal communities like everybody else? Or do you want to submit, and then that means you have to voluntarily cooperate and give up some of your freedom for the benefit of the whole? Sounds good, but most people don't want to give up what they got. That's why
they want to hold.
That's why I talked about this high value thing. It's not that women really want a man making some money, but they want a lifestyle. I run into more women who want to be retired by 45, living on the beach. And I'm just like, at the ultimate point, I'm like, if we're going to have anything, women are going to have to seriously ask themselves, do you want to be married? Because there's an old saying that a nation can rise no higher than the moral position of its women. So I'm looking at women and I'm like, well, how are you women approaching relationships? And for most, it's a game or a joke. It's funny. And I think that people misunderstand and see what I do in the back and forth, and they take the sound bites, not understanding that this is the straw. Women are the straw which we make bricks. And I ask women, are you as serious as your grandmother was at your age? Oh no. Well then what the fuck? How are we supposed to get anywhere as men if
Yeah,
women aren't taking it seriously?
but it's interesting when you mention that we are not thinking of whole, we're all thinking so individual. So when individuals are coming together, you know, even when you're looking at a marriage, it's like, well, what am I getting out of it? As opposed to what are we going to be building to reach a common objective, right? And so divorce rates also, you know, in the background being very dark, and they are high, it's almost like people are almost planning for eyes of the relationship as opposed to putting all of their effort into.
The sad part is in the West, hyper-individualism penalizes women more at the end of life than it does men. Because if it's all about me, what am I going to get out of it? Cool. But whether it don't matter about the education or whatever, at the end of the day, black men earn more than black women. And you can have a PhD education, but the numbers tell the story. And the bottom line is, if 75% of our women are earning less than $50,000, and you're not getting married, so you don't have two families, a nuclear family and extended family, no Western civilization is set up to care for individual aged people. So what's going to happen? We're about to start seeing a lot of single spinsters, and there is no. It's not going to look pretty, because you know what happens to men who can't afford to take care of themselves? They don't get to go to the government and petition for more benefits. They end up on the street, and that's what you're starting to see. The largest group of first-time homeless is women, and women with children, because they're unattached to a man. That's why I told that woman, if you are choosing to be, I asked you if you have a college degree, she said yes. Didn't sound like she had a college degree to me, sounded like she had a certificate. Sounded like to me she has a middle-class job, and that'll work as long as she doesn't have any serious health illness or whatever. She can work and make paycheck to paycheck, live a middle-class life until something happens. But she will not be able to have enough money to retire on. She will not have a savings. And then when she can no longer work, where's the support system? It ain't the government. The support system is supposed to be your family. So women, the notion that you don't need no man, you need a family, you need a network. And that's what I'm telling women today. It's easy to say you'd rather die alone until you look at 60-plus-year-old women out there doing this shit. I don't just say this to be triggering to women. I'm looking at women dying alone. It ain't pretty, it ain't sexy. And many of the women are too prideful, too embarrassed, too ashamed, to whatever, to come and tell the stories to the younger women saying, don't do what we did. But that's who I talk to often, those older women in the baby boomer generation. Keep telling them. Go in my comment section, women in their 70s, thank you for saying what we did not know how to say. What am I ultimately saying? That we're better together than apart, and we do need one another. Men and women are different. We were designed for different purposes, and we're better together. But in order to be together, you got to not be so selfish, because it ain't about you when you come together. Peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter is tasty, jelly good than a motherfucker. Together they make a good sandwich. But do you want to eat a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly, but you could eat a whole lot of goddamn PB&J?
Yeah.
Have a good one, man.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying. We are this solitary individual, hyper-individualism. Don't get confused on the sound bites and the clips and everything else. The goal is to start, sometimes you do have to shock people to recognize that you ain't all that. And who made you think you were all that? Why do women today want this luxury lifestyle that the women who came before them, who actually worked harder than them, never had. It's because it's a joke, it's a game. Relationships aren't serious until you start asking about sharing. Then shit get serious. You start asking a woman, you want to share a man? Oh, then now we can get serious. Now we can get serious. I ain't sharing nobody. You mean you ain't sharing the man you don't have? And I think it's great that we had women with children come on talk about not sharing. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
I'm
33.
Okay. Who's 33?
Me.
Okay. 33. Are you single or are you married?
I was engaged, but we
You
ended.
single?
Yeah.
Any kids?
No.
Okay, 25. Single or married?
I'm single.
You gotta speak up. You gotta speak up.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm single.
Any children?
No.
33. Would you share a man?
Okay, this is why I got into it with my ex about, because he felt like he's Muslim and he felt like he could have more than one woman. But my thing is, okay, I understand it, but aren't you supposed to be able to provide for all the women that you supposed to have, right?
If they're your wives.
Right. So my thing is, if he's not providing and stuff, he's like living in a fairy tale, right? So how can you
No.
have multiple women?
No. You said your boyfriend.
Well, my ex fiance,
That's
we
just
was on
a
it, right?
husband. That's not a husband.
Okay. All right. I get it.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
So so you are okay? What's the position? You think you
Yes,
should have
I
to?
feel like I'm okay with sharing if he's able to do what he's supposed to do on both ends.
What does that mean? What does that mean for you specifically? Does that mean he has to retire you and you sit at home and do nothing?
No.
Do you still work full time?
Yes.
Okay,
I
then what
want
is
to
he
work.
supposed to do? Then what is he supposed to do?
Like, be respectful, do spontaneous things.
Well, now, anything you just earlier said is, as a man supposed to be able to, before he can have this poly thing, and he's supposed to be able to provide. I want to
Yes.
stick to providing. What is he supposed to provide?
Everything, like, help with everything. Like, everything should be 50-50 to me.
Okay, ma'am, if you can't tell us, how can he know what to do? Give me some examples of what everything, ma'am, means. I don't know.
The bills, help.
Can he take care of himself?
Yes, if he's supposed to be,
Excuse me.
if he wants to, why would you?
Hold on.
Okay.
I gave you an opportunity to clarify. You didn't take it. So
Okay.
I'm going to get the questions. We're talking about men who are functioning citizens who are taking care of themselves, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right. So if he can take care of himself, that means if you guys get together, he's going to take care of what he was doing before. See, I don't think you're being honest. I think what you're saying is, if I'm with him, he's supposed to take care of everything.
No, like.
So, okay, 50-50. When you're married,
Right.
is your husband supposed to pay 50-50?
Yes.
All right, then if he's 50-50, can he still have other women?
If he's paying 50-50, yes.
He's paying 50-50 for who?
For both of us, that's what I'm saying. He paying bills at
He's
my
only
place.
living
He
one
paying
place,
bills at
man.
that
He's
girl.
only living one place. Why does he have to pay for another woman? He ain't living there.
Okay, so if you're saying he's supposed to have multiple women, oh, okay, he got to make sure that both of his women are okay. He got to be able to provide for
No,
both.
I don't think the math ain't mathing, man. I don't think either you're not being honest or you're not understanding. Why does he have to provide 50-50 for another woman? He lives on one main street with you. That's where his mortgage is due, his utilities, everything. He doesn't live with her. The time he spends with her is casual time.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
I'm
Because
fine with
what it
that.
sounds to me like is, well, I'm cool as long as he can pay bills here, he can pay bills there. But are you going to be
I'm
honest?
cool with that. I just don't feel like a man should be talking about they want multiple women and they need to be taken care of themselves. Like they don't have no kind of source of income or anything like that. And they want
Who
to be
talks about that?
a
Who talks
rapper.
about that? Who talks about that? Who talks
Huh?
about a man who's got multiple women and women are taking care of him? Who talks about that?
Who talks about that?
Uh-huh.
I don't think nobody really talks about it, but
So
it's a lot of
talking
men
about it. So
that
why are we
don't.
talking? No. If nobody
Okay.
talks about it, I don't talk about it. Why are we talking
Okay.
about it? See, what I want you guys to understand is women always go to the men that they find distasteful and disqualified and try to use that to color all men. I make women make distinctions. What about men who are thorough, taking care of their business? Can he have multiple women? And therein lies the rub. No. And that's why I said you're full of shit. You're full of shit. That's why we went all the way around the world.
I'm not. If he
You're
say
full of shit. That's why I do what I do. I'm too good at what I do. You're full of shit.
I'm not.
Okay, ma'am, let me ask you. I'm gonna be honest. You're full of because you're not being honest. That's what I mean by full
I
of shit.
am. If he's taking care of his business, he can't have multiple
Take care of his
women.
business.
Yes.
All he gotta do is be able to take care of himself.
Hmm.
All he gotta do is be able to take care of himself, take care of his part of the bills. Because I mean,
Yes.
not to be rude, man. How tall are you?
I'm 5'1".
Dress size?
Why?
Don't do that. I trust you. Please don't do that. You don't want to do that. I ask this question to most women, so
13.
that ain't a dress size.
Well, that's what size I wear.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more
Extra
opportunity.
large.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you one more opportunity to be reasonable, because I'm not doing that to you, okay? I'm not trying to be rude. I ask this question often, so I don't get it. So, and it's for a reason. What's your dress size? 13 is a standard dress size.
My dresses say extra large.
Okay, how much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
I'm not telling my weight on here.
Okay.
I'm heavier. I'm a heavier woman, so yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So in any woman, fresh face out of the shower, your natural face, where would you rank yourself from 1 to 10? You can't use 7.
I say about 8.
Beyonce is an 8.
Okay.
So I put you and Beyonce side by side. And I put you on the internet and said for men worldwide to vote, you and Beyonce will get equal numbers of votes.
Yes. Of course they're gonna pick Beyonce too. She's like super popular.
No, she's an 8. That's why they
I'm
pick
an
her.
8 too.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Why? Because I'm heavier.
No, I didn't ask anything about you when I asked your looks. I didn't say anything about your body, did I? See, what I want you guys to understand is women want to put restrictions upon men, but you guys resist being judged and evaluated the way you judge and evaluate men. Notice how quick you were quick to talk about what a man needs to do and put parameters on him. But when we put the similar parameters on y'all want to get real vague. Dress size 13, I don't want to answer. I'm a 10, I'm an 8. Man, I've been doing this too long. I try to let you do it yourself, man, but you do not line up with Beyonce level beauty. And that's not an insult. And it has nothing to do with your weights.
Okay.
But my question is, why are you, if you know the reason I'm asking is, do you want to be an 8 or do you honestly walk out there in the world and people say, oh yeah, she's up there with Beyonce?
No, nobody says I'm up there in Beyonce, but I get beautiful all the time.
Okay. I would say you're cute. I would say average to cute, 5, 6, 6, But when you factor in, now this is when your body does come into play, average, above average, or below average health. Health is below average. from a
Okay.
weight standpoint. So being obese, overweight, larger,
Okay.
and it's a medical term. I'm not trying to
I
be.
understand what you're saying, but it's
So,
so
I mean, you didn't want to give me your weight, so I have to go with what I see. And
okay.
I would say it's probably on the side of probably morbid. Listen, so if you're average to cute, but below average on a health standpoint, does that make your number go up or down overall?
You're saying we're ranking
Mm-hmm.
if
Looks,
we're
body.
ranking on
Looks,
beauty.
does your body increase your ranking or decrease your
It can decrease a year.
ranking? No, it can, it does.
Well, it does.
Okay, and the point of all that is I ask this of women.
Mm-hmm.
If you are an average to below average woman, that means you get an average to below average man. Assortative mating.
Okay.
So you don't get men who are paying every bill. You're getting guys that can take care of themselves. But those guys still have options too, because there are more females than males of every race.
Okay.
So where has monogamy ever been the standard? And where in the world? What monetary system? What system of government?
Well, no, I just think, well, in America they do it.
That's
Like,
not.
so,
I mean, in the black community, 80% of the kids are born by 20% of the men. 54% of black men are single and childless. 30% are married. That means 16% of the men are roughly responsible for 80% of the kids. Future, Memphis, guys, 3 kids, 3 men, 84 kids. What I'm saying is women have always had to share men. Females have always had to share males. Female mammals have always shared male mammals. The only difference is in hyenas, and that's scarily what the black community seems to be becoming, more like hyena clan. And is it better to have part of a man or a whole nothing?
I feel like it's better to have part of a man.
And that's all I'm asking. Ladies, I'm not saying this is an ideal solution, and I'm not saying you're supposed to like it, but I am saying that for every group of women, you're going to have to make trade-offs and choices. And the more you have in sexual marketplace value bucks, credit, the more you can demand. But if you're in the average to below average, you have fewer options. 25. What do you think about sharing?
I think at this point in my life, I'm not really
Oh, you are
interested
so
in
low,
it.
I can't hear you.
I'm so sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you need to take the headphones off or something.
Okay, hold on.
So, all right. Go ahead.
Hello?
That's much better. Thank you.
Okay. I
So,
think at this point in my life, I wouldn't want to share.
okay, that's fine.
But I think, what you're saying about retirement and stuff makes sense. I don't know.
Do you want
At
to be
this point in
married?
my life, I couldn't imagine it.
Do you want to be married one day?
Yeah, I do.
You want children?
Yeah, and that's why I feel like it's not realistic at this point, because if we're going to start a family together, like I need a full man to raise my kids and my family.
Okay, you're 25, right?
Yeah.
Were your mother and father married?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a man that's actively right now betting you to become his wife?
No, I'm single.
Okay, so was it a long relationship?
It was like 4.5 years.
How long ago was that?
Like maybe like 2 months ago.
Okay, so at 25, the clock is ticking.
Oh. I mean,
Clock is ticking. 27 to 35, we officially enter what I call the danger zone.
Danger zone.
And that's when you really better focus like a laser on the outcomes you want. And the reality is, far too many women today are passive when it comes to mating. How are you supposed to find this man that you want to marry and have kids with and be with him for a lifetime? How's that supposed to happen? You got to be just as deliberate as you were about going to college and picking a job and everything else, because you got a clock. All women have a clock. Because what happens at 30 years old? Do you have as much time as you do now?
No.
That's the whole point. At your age, would you say that you're moving with an extreme sense of priority or sense of urgency regarding relationship?
Honestly, no. I mean, that's why I'm here, because I'm conflicted. Because I'm like, I was in my last relationship for so long. It's like I want to take some time, but it's
Okay.
also like, all right, I know I should be
How old was the person you were with?
dating. He's 28.
And why'd you guys end your relationship?
You're young, you know. And I knew, like, I just didn't want to spend 10 years in a relationship waiting for him to get to his point. So I was like, you know what? I'm 25. I have to find my husband eventually. Let me cut my losses, and
Well, but you spent 4.5 years with somebody, and that
yeah.
leaves a mark. So are you in therapy?
Yeah.
All right. There's a school of thought that says it takes about a third of the time you're with somebody to get over them. That still puts you right around 26, 27. But you still got to understand
Right. So
that the clock is out there. That's what's hanging over y'all. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. You can take time. You got to do the work, and you got to make sure that you're clearing out the clutter and making sure that you are the kind and caliber of woman that the kind and caliber of man you want to marry will pick.
absolutely.
So y'all got to do a lot of, and my point is, women have to be much more deliberative about mating and relationship, because you're saying at your age you want to put maximum investment into a man, which you're still young enough, but the young card turns off around 27. So just be very deliberate, and it's kind of like focusing on the outcome, because what a lot of women will do is it's hot girl summer, let's turn up, I got time. You remember the fable of the ant and the grasshopper, or the tortoise and the hare?
Mm-hmm.
Don't take a nap. Don't take a nap.
Okay.
Keep moving. All right, then, take it easy. Yeah,
I
25.
gotta leave.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. Man, I was started this one late. All right. So here's the funny thing, man. Here's the funny thing. All right. When I started this conversation, the goal was to get the conversation started, to get women to start talking about what they want. And I talk to men, and men are saying, thank you for saying what you're saying. Because you ladies got to understand that men want something too for their commitment. And are you paying high enough price? Hello? And she's got the phone. She's got the phone sitting up here. Yeah. Are you paying a high enough price? Or are you trying to get a man on discount? I think it's interesting, though, no matter how it came about, that when I sat down and talked to so many women with kids, and that's really what a lot of women think, as though I got kids, my value is even higher. Hello?
Hi.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm all right. How old are you?
I'm 33 today.
33. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. We're talking about this subject of sharing a man, especially over 35.
Okay.
Do you have any kids?
Yes.
How many?
I have one son.
Okay. Are you single?
No, I'm married.
Okay. How long have you been married?
2 years next month.
All right. Well, if you're a married woman, you're off limits. You're already in a relationship. So I try to make sure. Congratulations, though.
Thank you.
Stay married. You don't want to be out here.
No, I know. I don't.
No, you don't. Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. So that's why I tell the other women, if you're married, you already picked. You know, stay married. Don't come out here. This is blood sport out here. Blood sport out here. Let me see. I'm gonna just push the next 3. I'll take a couple more because what I want is women just to start understanding that as strong as you feel about yourself and as high as you think your value is, if the men aren't co-signing this shit, it doesn't matter. And ladies are gonna have a real hard choice to make. Because here's the thing, I want to also say something else. Even for the women who are kind of on the fence, and say, well, I'm all right with it, maybe under the right circumstances. Are you fit? Are you still pickable? Ladies, some of the demands that you're making don't match your sexual marketplace value. How are you going to go in demanding to be the starting point guard, the starting quarterback? You're going to go in demanding to be in charge of something. And you just filled out an application. Not only are you have to be all right with the concept, you got to be one of the women he would pick. And this whole notion about a man need to be paid bills. I get where you're going, ladies. I get it. Let me do this real quick. These last 2. But I've yet to hear a better alternative because it's easy to say die alone. Hello?
Oh, hi.
How are you? You getting ready for
I'm
bed?
good. Oh,
You getting ready for bed?
yeah, I am. It's 12 o'clock here in Houston.
Okay, well, how old are you?
I'm 35.
What's your Instagram? Are you Hey?
I'm Wholesome Vibe.
Okay. All right. So how old are you again?
I'm 35.
35. That was perfect target. Talk about, you have any kids?
No children.
All right. So you ready to share, man? What do you think about the topic?
It's funny that you came on with this topic because I was just talking to someone earlier, this guy, about a poly relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And
You brought it up or he brought it up?
Huh?
You brought it up or he brought it up?
He brought it up.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, and I was like, no, I'm not going to share anybody. I don't want to share. And I don't think I have to, you know, and that's just how I was raised and how I feel about things. So, I don't know. I'm not with it.
Okay. No children?
Mm-mm.
At 35. What about when you turn 45?
Would I be willing to share at 45?
Yeah, 10 years from now, and you're still unmarried.
Well, I pray to God I'm not, but if I was.
No. It's more likely that you're not than you are, just on the numbers.
Mm-hmm. That I'm not married?
Yes.
By 45?
Yeah, yes, for sure.
Why is that?
Math. Marriage doesn't go up as you age. For a woman, it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just asking whether you agree or not. Just stick on this. In 10 years, at 45, and you're not married, then what? You still have the same position?
So what is sharing, just like sharing the man as far as like intimacy or like?
Yeah, all that. You share everything. Yep, he's going. Yeah, you ain't got to live in the same house, but he's doing what he's doing. So my question I'm asking, you say that at 35. Is there any age at which you feel like that would change?
I really don't feel like it would change.
Okay, so you think that at 45 you can make the same demands you did at 35? You think at 55 you can make the same demands you made at 35? Please explain.
No, I don't think I can make the same demands, but you asking what I would want.
No. That's not what I'm asking. No. I'm asking at what age will it change?
Will it change?
Yeah, because any female ages and can demand less.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear what you're talking about, how I was raised and all this other kind of stuff. I could get your energy, but I'm just with the facts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been married?
No, I've never been married.
So the way men look at this is you're 35,
Mm-hmm.
married, something wrong with you. That's the way men look at it.
I've heard that before.
And that's what it is, because that's what we think. And we do the picking.
Mm-hmm.
So the kind of man that can pass your high standard,
Mm-hmm.
you think he can pass other women's standard?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think if he can pass other women's standard, do you think you're going to be the tippy top of the women of that pile? Or are you going to be average, below average, or in the middle? Of all the women that can pass that standard, the thousands and thousands and thousands of women, where are you at in that line?
I mean, I guess I would say average. I would say average.
Okay. So if this man has to meet your high standard, okay, let's just say only 1 out of 100 men can meet that standard. Let's just say that. Then that's that one man. But then you find out that in that line, there are 1,000 women. And you're number 782.
Getting
Of
lower.
1,000 women that's just in that line who would like this man, why would he pick 782?
He wouldn't.
My point is the reason I'm asking is it's not a matter of your worth. Y'all are tying this to your dignity, and it's a matter of math. The older you get, do you think you're going to have more chances or less chances of finding a suitable mate?
Less.
So do you think you're going to have to make more concessions or less concessions as you age?
Definitely more.
So would one of those concessions be sharing someone?
I would have to revisit that at 45. Maybe I would consider it then, but I just don't see it.
Okay. Well, at 45, the man that can meet your standards, you're competing with women that are 25. That's all I want you ladies to understand, is because you can feel how you want to, but sexual politics is blood sport. And you got to understand, I mean, a man has to understand, why should a man who can meet your standard, why should you get a man that's a top, did you go to college?
No. Well, I went to a community college. I have an associate's degree.
What's your profession?
I went straight into like oil and gas, and so I worked for a major chemical company for about 11 years.
What do you do? Are you in your office? Or you're in the field?
But I was in the field.
Okay.
I was in the field.
You're not a roughneck, are you?
No, I'm definitely not a roughneck. No, it was one of those things where, hey, I needed to make some money, you know?
I mean, I understand oil and gas. That's why I know the terms.
So I got into it.
My question is it a masculine profession or is it a feminine profession?
It's definitely masculine, and I'm out of it now.
Okay, so what do you do for a living now?
Well, I opened up a food truck.
Okay.
So.
All right. So, and how many hours a day are you working?
Well, opening. I'm about 3 or 4 weeks out from opening. So
you had a masculine profession. Man, you're starting a business that's going to be your source of income. What do you have to offer a man for 100% monogamy? You got to focus on this business or she don't eat.
True.
So a man is supposed to take you, who had a masculine job, no need, no judgment, then you start a business. You got to put you got to put a lot of emotional labor into that because you ain't married to this guy. You got to provide for yourself. And he has to give you all of his commitment. All right. Do you have to earn his ring or does he have to earn your commitment?
I have to earn his ring.
All right. Then how you going to earn his ring when you got to do this job?
Well, unfortunately, that's the situation I'm in. I've been wanting to get on this call
But that's
me.
my point. But that's my point. And what I'm trying to get you to understand. And now I'm asking you questions so you start realizing, damn, I'm saying one thing, but I actually don't have that much leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have enough leverage to make that demand?
I mean, when you put it like that, I guess I don't.
I mean, how would you put it? I mean, in the marketplace, you're a single woman, 35, childless, and that's officially at the end of the danger zone. Okay, do you want kids?
Yes,
How many?
I want to.
Okay,
I would
so
like to.
according to, you're already in what we consider geriatric pregnancy.
Definitely, yeah.
So when do you start making concessions? When do you start saying, when do you have to start moving that line down? When do you have to start accepting more?
I mean, I have moved that line down, but why does it have to be with sharing him intimately with someone else? Like, why does that have to be the concession?
So that's
I
what
guess
we do.
I mean, like,
What are in mammals, are the males typically monogamous?
No.
So that's why, man. You know why it is. You know why it is. I mean, you know, y'all, this is what frustrates me. Y'all act like y'all don't know what it is. When you were in a relationship with a man, did he ever watch porn and masturbate?
Yes.
Why? He had access to you. Because that's how it is.
But he was young. We were young.
It doesn't matter. And this is one of the problems, y'all don't know us and understand. It's sex. Maybe, I'm gonna say this and I don't mean to hurt your feelings. But usually why men cheat or step out is for femininity. They get something different. But does it matter that he steps out, or does it matter that he come back home? Which matters more?
He comes back.
Well, but that's not the way you started this conversation. And that's why I need you ladies to understand what the women who came before you guys, who had 30, 40, and 50-year relationships, know and understand about men and relationships that modern women don't seem to. And the way modern women talk, them women back there was fools. Then why do you admire them so much? You admire your grandmother, you admire the family, the community, all the stuff that we had. It was made by women who did not put themselves first.
But I didn't grow up like that, because I admire my mom, my parents. They've been together 40 years coming up this weekend, and unless they taught me something that.
Where are your people from originally?
Where
are your people from originally?
They're from Louisiana.
Man, that's the South, baby girl. I'm from Oklahoma. I know this is where it came from. Don't act like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Just because you don't know what your mom and daddy was doing, don't mean it wasn't happening.
Yeah, and I understand that too. I get
that means
that.
They just hit it well. Did your mama tell you if you want to be with a man, baby girl, you're going to have to make some concessions? Did she teach you how to find a husband? To teach you what to do for a husband?
Yes, she did.
Then why did you,
She does.
Then to be fair, if they married for 40 years, why hasn't her teachings worked?
One, I wasn't applying them.
Okay.
I wasn't applying them. And I hold myself accountable for that. I wasn't even at one point putting myself on the market after.
So then how are you going to talk about what your mama and daddy taught you if you openly admit you didn't apply what they taught you? See, it's selective use. Y'all just make up, y'all just say shit. My mom and daddy didn't teach me. Your mama also taught you how to be married. Well, I wasn't applying it. Well, then don't apply this shit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, at one point it wasn't applied, but now I'm applying it because I do realize that things are changing.
Too late. Maybe it's too late.
You think it's too late?
I don't know. I'm just saying, do you ever think it's too late?
I don't think it's too late. I really don't.
It does get to be too late, and that's what you ladies need to hear. See, women didn't used to think, oh, well, I'll take 10, 15 years off and not apply. Women used to think, I need to get married early on so I can have some stability in a man, but y'all got a job. Man, 1 in 4 black women were married. That means 3 out of 4 will die unmarried. That means it's too late for 3 out of 4, right? And that message needs to be taught, because if you would see, what usually happens is people don't get taught. You were taught, like my mom and they were taught. Her sisters rejected the teachings and they died alone. There's a line to where it does become too late, and it tends to be when you become overly masculine. So, good conversation, but I'm going to say that if you were taught, you rejected the teachings. Now you're doing what you're doing. What I'm getting from Europe is you're an independent, modern woman. You do what you got to do to take care of what you got to take care of.
Yeah.
That ain't a wife.
But that's not what I wanted, though.
But that's what you
that's not how
chosen. But that's what you chosen. That's what
Not
you chose.
necessarily.
Okay, ma'am. See, that's the thing. That's why I said on Friday, you ladies don't have to make peace with your choices. That's what you chose. You chose to reject the teachings.
Yeah.
So
At one point.
then you get the outcomes, man. Kind of like Kim Kardashian whining and complaining and crying about sex tapes that her kids see on TikTok. You chose to make it with Ray J and release it. You can't cry, and it made you popular and made you money. Now you can't, okay, man. And I think this is a good conversation because far too many women are told you can do whatever, whenever, and the clock doesn't matter, and when you decide you want to, men will be there. No, some doors close. And the older you get as a woman, certain doors close and can never be opened again. That's not what you're taught. And if somebody if you would have heard something along the lines of what I'm saying when you were around 15 or 16, and you saw the following and all that other stuff, do you think you might have thought differently about some of the choices you made?
Definitely, yeah.
And that's my point. That's my point. That's why people talk about you need to be canceled, this and that. No. Women need to be told that if you choose, like I said, if you choose to go be a career woman, work, be independent, hey, kudos to you. All love. But just like men who choose to go out and focus on their purpose and whatever else, men up there have always had to settle. If you choose to be that woman over here, either you're going to have to settle for a man down here, or you're going to have to, if you want a man on your socioeconomic lifestyle level, that man got options. And you may have to be all right with the fact that he just comes back home because there are not enough men.
Okay.
600,000 women and roughly 10,000 men for that want him. So good conversation though.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. She was pleasant. You know, here's the thing. She has a template to follow. And you may think somebody like her is a lost cause. No, I've seen firsthand how you can be a woman who rejected those teachings and then it ends up well. And I think it's cool that she admitted, it's like, damn, I didn't hear this stuff. That's why I think it's so dangerous for people to keep lying to women, telling them you can have it all and this and that. No. All right, people, that's been cool. That's been great. Your godfather has been on here far too long. I stayed on here because this is an important topic, and I wanted to get more people, more women in to hear what they had to say. I'm not saying it's a perfect solution. It's not. It's a solution. Hello, last person. How old are you?
I'm 31.
31. Any children?
Nope.
Single or married?
Not married.
All right. What do you think about sharing a man over 35?
I'm not for it.
Okay.
I'm not for it because if you want to, how can I say this? Start a relationship off, being monogamous, and then you step out, like being transparent in that, I think it's just like.
Who said anything about deception? I'm saying you fully well know that you are going to be number 2, 3, or 4. Up front, no chasing.
No, the transparency is awesome, but no.
Then what's the option? What's the alternative?
To seek a better suited partner, maybe.
I'm asking you, man. Okay, here's what I'm.
Or okay, for me
Okay. All right. So do you want to be married?
Yes.
You want children?
Yes.
How many?
3 max.
Uh, do you want to have to work to pay significant bills for the family and household and carry substantial financial responsibility for the family?
If I have to, yes, but initially,
Do you want to? Please try to answer the questions the way I'm asking, not the way you want to. The phrase the way they are for a reason.
okay, no.
What percentage of our family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime? You want your kids to be able to go to college?
Yes.
Would you like to travel domestically and internationally with your family?
Yes.
Okay. What state do you live in?
California.
California. How much would a annual income would a family need to make to have 3 children? Because your children that you just described are roughly $500,000 each. So $1.5 million with the kids in California with college and travel. About how much annual income would a family need to make?
Definitely over $1 million.
All right. And do you care, what race do you prefer your husband to be?
Black.
Okay. What percentage of black men make over $1 million?
I have no clue, Kevin. Not especially not in California.
Just guess.
7 to 10%, probably.
They talk about a 0.1%. You said 7 to 10%. 10% of men earn $100,000 or more. And I want you to understand then, a millionaire. How tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
8.
How much did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
153.
Okay. Last question. Fresh face out of the shower, just your natural look. What would you rank your face alone on a scale from 1 to 10 and you can't eat 7?
With no lashes, I would say a 6.
Okay. That's cute. So on the bell curve, average is right about a 5, a 6 is top 40%, okay? So why would a woman who's in the top 40% get a 0.1% man and then get monogamy? Make the math make sense. 40%, 40%, and he's in 0.1%, not 1%. So he's like 400 times, it's like 400, 4,000, 0.1%. And 40%, he's in 0.1%. Okay? So there are roughly about 125,000 black men who fit that category, $1 million, single. Okay? And do you think they have a lot of options?
Oh, they have a plethora of options.
So when have men anywhere in the world, any monetary system, any system of government, any system of any system in recorded history where men have been in the top 1%, right below the monarchy, they have been royalty. When have men in that category ever been strictly monogamous?
That I don't know. I would definitely love to. Definitely would need to like look into that.
What do you think? Yeah, go ahead. What do you think though?
I don't want to say all of them had multiple wives. I'm sure a good majority of them
I
did.
didn't say multiple wives. I said strictly monogamous.
Oh, I don't. A small. I wouldn't even say more than 3. I don't.
None.
I guess.
None. The royalty, men in royalty have mistresses. You're familiar with the term concubine, harem, bastard. These are kids who were born out of wedlock. Okay? Men at the top have never been strictly monogamous as the rule.
Okay, I have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
So, is this something that the 20 to 40-year-old woman has to accept because this is what today's previous society and today's society has to accept. And then my second question is, you said, what do you rate yourself 1 to 10 fresh out of the shower? So personality has no play into
Nope.
that. I'm just trying.
No.
Okay.
Me and we're visual. We don't care about your personality until we want to fuck you. And then we don't even have to care. Absolutely not. And ma'am, the fact that you asked that question is kind of disturbing because you got to understand how men think. You said, what about 20 to 40? And that's cool, but that's one of the problems with them staying in the West. We have had to know y'all. Y'all don't know shit about us. We're foreign to you guys. You don't understand who we are, how we think, how we move, and you keep putting more demands on us that aren't even in line with who we are. That's why you keep asking us to be nice and friendly and in touch with our feelings. That ain't who the fuck we are. But you said women 20 to 40, is that something that they have to accept because women in the past accepted that? No, it's something you got to accept if you want a man in that category because they're exceedingly rare. Because I'm going to ask you a question. If you were a top 0.1% woman, would you accept an average man? Boom.
If he loved
Bullshit.
me and was about me,
Bullshit.
oh yes, this woman might be beautiful too, but
Bullshit.
my eyes are
See,
only on you.
this is it right here, people. It's bullshit. You would not. It's not, ma'am. You wouldn't, ma'am. If you're a top 0.1% woman, you wouldn't. Sure, if you read Disney fantasies and everything else, to where if you wouldn't even be floating in the same circles with these dudes. It wouldn't even have a chance to happen. He couldn't even understand your lifestyle. And if you're not going to be real, why are we having a conversation? Top 0.1% woman. When did they ever date the guy first shift at the plant? When does it ever really happen?
I'm sure it had. I mean, I don't.
Ma'am, is it the norm? I don't care about anecdotal and one-offs. Can you be grown-ups?
So top 1% woman, the snotty woman. She has her nose in the air. She's
It doesn't
not
have to be snotty woman, man. Man, you're the one that said you want to have $1.5 million worth of kids, and the man would need to make $1 million to live the lifestyle. You sound like the snooty woman. It's with nose in the air. That's not a normal lifestyle. That is an upper lifestyle. What kind of professions would a man need to have to make that kind of money legally that are not athletics, entertainment, or music?
Healthcare. Healthcare is really big.
Title.
What, like a CEO or just being upper?
Specific title.
Being like what was it? I don't know. But just being in some type of.
I'm just saying something. Listen. Don't talk. I want you to listen. This is what you want. This is what you would like from a man in his income, and you can't even identify what his job would be. And how are you going to be in the same circles with him?
Well, you excluded out certain categories, so I'll be thinking off the top of my head. Wasn't just like a list of professions that I'm just suiting after. No, not at all.
But then how are you going to get him? See, this is what women who are serious about mating, they understand that I need a man. I want a certain kind of lifestyle, and only certain kind of professions pay those kind of incomes in general. So when you talk, that's what I'm asking. If you're the top 1% woman, you've already made her snooty. I don't know. She's just not. She's going to mate with somebody on her level. But see, the question I'm asking though, ma'am, is why would a man or a woman with top 0.1% options settle for some? Why could an average person demand they be monogamous?
Can I?
Go ahead. I'm asking, when can they demand they'll be monogamous?
But isn't that kind of like a respect, like self-respect thing?
Nope.
Like
you guys have made this shit about self-respect. This is not about self-respect. This is about who males and females are. You guys have made it disrespectful. You'll know what he's doing. Up front, he'll tell you, you're the wife, she's the mistress, she's the side chick. That's my executive assistant. Y'all all need to get to know one another. Just like Future when his 8 baby mamas, they all know one another. It's not self-respect. The top men have always had multiple mating opportunities. The question is, why do women who are firmly in the middle, average at best, think they can get a top 1% man and then have the nerve to talk that he should be monogamous? When does it ever happen?
I'm sure it happens, just on how some
you can be so sure. Give me some. You can be so sure, but you can't tell me when. Ma'am, you're not sure. You hope it happens. You've heard about this in Disney and Hallmark, but as the norm, ma'am, point to some place where you know you can verify. We're adults, right? I don't want to talk about probability versus possibility. I don't want to talk about possible, probable. Where is it likely been probable that an average woman can get a 0.1% man and demand monogamy?
I don't think anywhere, especially if love does not have anything to do with it.
Marriage at
And
that level ain't got shit to do with love, baby girl. Marriage ain't really about love anyway. Love is one of the problems we have right now. You guys live in these fantasy worlds where you go on your feelings and vibe, and that ain't what it's about. It's about mate choice. It is about family. It's about utility, pragmatism. What's love got to do with it? That's why the black community is in the shambles that it is, because y'all go on y'all's vibes and feelings. But at the end of the day, man, you want 3 children. You don't want to have to really pay any bills. That's cool. You want to be able to live a life to where, did you travel internationally when you were a kid?
no,
Did your mother and father pay for college, full ride?
no.
Okay. Did your grandparents do any of that stuff? Your grandmother do any of that stuff?
I didn't travel internationally until I was
But
like,
Mom, I'm saying, did your grandmother travel internationally? Did she pay for your mother's college?
I believe she paid for her college, but my
Okay,
grandma asked her.
then why there's a woman who came from women who had to work and live normal lives? Why do y'all all of a sudden think y'all can go from here to way up here in one generation?
I could definitely gain an understanding of that statement. Me personally, my mom was married. My grandmother, she's married too, and my grandmother was taken care of.
Okay, but man, I
But
didn't say taken care of. I'm talking about they were here, and you're talking about way up here. Could you marry a man who's average, making average money, $42,500, and have him 3 kids?
yes, and I would have to contribute as well.
Yeah, like the women used to.
Mm-hmm.
Most women, 75% of mothers work full or part-time in this country. But what I want you to understand is so many women, especially in our women, don't want to work. And here's where, and again, it's no judgment, but I got to ask, okay, let's say I put you in a room with these kind of men and they were looking to marry. I think they should get something for what they're offering, right? What would be your pitch? All right, in exchange for the resources, access, and things you provide, this is what I would bring to the table. What would that be? Some high level.
Okay, give me a second. I'm thinking about that. I don't want to sound stupid saying this.
Okay.
What would I pitch? What would I pitch to a?
Yeah, because you're making it. You're having a conversation. Oh, he's the kind of man. He's on that level. Okay, cool. Well, if I were to be with a man like you, this is what he can expect to have from me as a wife. This is what I bring of value to the table.
Daily cooking and cleaning, bringing assets to the table as well. Like, I'm not coming to the table empty-handed. I'm also bringing a plate and a couple of things extra to the table as well. Like, I'm not just coming to the table with my hand out, not just having a peace of
You have any
mind.
student loan debt?
No.
Okay, so go ahead. Assets, cooking and cleaning.
I said peace of mind as well.
How old are you again?
31.
Okay. Asset, peace of mind.
Love and affection.
So
Good conversation.
what is different about what you bring to the table in that scenario than a woman would bring to the average man? Cooking and cleaning, she had to cook and clean for herself. A single woman has to cook and clean. She has to take care of herself before she's there. It's okay. So all women can cook and clean supposedly. So all right. So we can knock that one off. Nothing really special. It can be done, but not really special. Assets. Due respect. He's gonna be making that kind of money, whatever assets. It's kind of like tip. It's not gonna be that massive, but still not. I mean, not insignificant, but he's gonna be the asset. And then peace of mind. That's subjective. We can't know that, and he'd have to take you on first to find that out. So if what you were going for is a job, and that was your interview, do you think they would hire you? Because they have to basically they just have to hire you and say, well, peace of mind, we don't know. We just got to look at her cooking and cleaning, which is pretty much standard, and her assets. She brought in a plate. Okay.
Can I add also just open mind, willing to listen?
Yeah, but they have to hire you first. You'd have to hire you first.
Okay.
See, what I'm trying to get you to understand is what you want is very high. What you offer is very common. I can cook and clean. Okay. Guess what? Men have to learn how to cook and clean too because we don't have wives. And I'll be honest, most women don't know how to really cook that well. They cook to subsist. But maybe you're different. But do you think that's worth, if you had to put it on the table and say, he's a millionaire, and this is what I'm bringing, do you see a disparity in the value there?
Yes, I can recognize that.
All right. So, would you be offering a fair deal, value for value?
No, because my bank isn't as big as.
Right. So if you're not offering a fair deal, value for value, what should be done with the difference in the values? Because you're obviously gaining from his value and he's not getting a fair deal. What should we do to balance the scale to make the values line up?
For me personally, step my game up.
No. You're already where you are. You're already where you are. Stepping your game up, even if you stepped it up to the highest it's going to be, it's still going to be exponentially lower than where he's doing. This is why I'm saying that if you want a man that's a 0.1% man, do you make room for the fact that if a man like that were to marry you, you would have scored, you'd have won the Olympics, and whatever he decided to do, you should really give a shit about because you've already won. And that's what I'm trying to get you ladies to understand. Why do y'all gotta have everything? Why can't you just get a man, if a man is honestly up there and he were to marry you, you got it made. But you gotta have everything? Monogamy too? And all he's getting is cooking and cleaning on the side plate?
Can I ask a question? So for a man, and I understand today's society, so for a man to be a multi-million-dollar owner, have a good net worth and, whatever he brings to the table, all of that, it's okay for him to have 2 or 3 on the side and still have his wife. That's okay. Like I get in today's society, like a woman obviously.
Is that the question or what's the question?
Obviously we lose our value, but like, why is society like that? Like, why do
It's not society. It's always been that way, man. Your value is tied to your youth, your womb, your chastity. That's how it always has been. Argue with the creator. The problem is today, the problem is women today want to have the double standards that you guys take advantage of in the sexual marketplace, and then you want subjective equality. You want to be able to go be the CEO, but you don't want to do the dangerous ditch digging jobs. But do you want to put in the work? And the thing is, what you and women like yourself, we want to bring what you bring to the sexual marketplace, and you want to exchange it for a multimillionaire when it's worth $45,000 annual. And I'm like, why do you not see that y'all at $45,000? Why do y'all get million? Because I'm special, because of my mind, my peace of mind. It's like, well, and these men, honestly, these men sit back and listen to this stuff, and they're like, these women, I can't mate with this woman. She doesn't even know how special or rare I am. And you know what happens? This is what happens far too often when something like this does happen. Women get with men like that, and then they start treating this 1% man like he's an average dude. Nitpicking and saying this and that. Do you not realize you married to a top 1% man? No, I don't like the way he did. Please. If we had to, before we industrialized the world, back when we were a agrarian society, when we had to work and earn to just get enough food and water to live, just for basic safety. If a noble lord or a knight or a duke or earl came along and plucked you out of the field and put you in a castle, you wouldn't be saying, well, if you ain't gonna be faithful to me, I'm gonna go back and live in the hut with my daddy. You'd stick your ass up in the castle and shut the fuck up. Real talk. You know you would. And this is the honest, y'all know these things, man, but you've been told you can have it all. And here's what men don't like. There never seems to be enough for women today. Y'all always want more and more and more. You honestly said, and I thank you, $1 million. That's what a man would need to make. And you didn't bat an eye. Man, do you make $1 million?
No, I don't make $1 million, but I definitely will one day.
What's your profession again?
I I work a 9-to-5 job, but I have my own business too.
What's your profession?
I don't know what to tell you, Kevin, because I know you're gonna drive.
I'm just asking, man.
But like I'm a banker.
Okay, but what's the business on the side?
Cosmetology.
I don't laugh at people who work, man. I'm just asking what it is. Work is work. I respect work, but I want you to ask yourself a question, really. Where in the history of the world, the women who were middle class, who came from solid middle class roots, who have a solid middle class upbringing, and who have average to above average schooling and education and things like that, have $1 million dreams and expect $1 million outcomes in their lifetime? If your man was working at banking and he had cosmetology, barber, and all this other kind of stuff, and he said, I'm gonna be a millionaire one day, you'd be like, sounds good. What are the steps? And how do you plan on becoming a millionaire and a wife and a mother of 3? What?
I mean, well, I guess that's why I am where I am now. I don't have kids. I did not.
You don't have $1 million potential either. Your resume is not $1 million resume. And it's no shot, man, but that's my point. And see, I'm saying that because
No, I'm really listening. I'm taking this
I
on.
think it's sad that women are so taken with the Instagram. It's possible to become a millionaire when ultimately you want to be a housewife. Because I asked you, do you want to be married? Yeah. How many kids? 3. Do you want to be a mother of 3 or do you want to be a millionaire? Which one do you want more? You can only have one.
That's kind of hard.
No, that's not hard. Which one do you want? Wife, mother of 3, or millionaire? You can only have one.
Wife, mother of 3, or a millionaire?
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, wife, mother of 3, a shot at being a millionaire. A shot at being a millionaire.
A shot at being a millionaire? I'll take being a mother of 3, because if I'm a wife, I'm gonna get cheated on. The million is not for sure, so I'll take the 3.
See, I want you to understand how you automatically went to the negative. How about if I'm a wife, I actually have a life. I have a husband and children and a family and a community and all those other things. You went automatically to the negative shit. Y'all are fucked up. Y'all don't look at things the right way. Y'all are like, damn, it's all negative. This is why this is masculine. This is why so many modern women, y'all can't relax, because you're always looking at relationships in negative terms. He's cheating on me and this and that, other than the fact of, damn, today I'm single and I work at a bank and I have my cosmetology. And right now, if nothing changes, this is all I have to look forward to the rest of my life. This is it. This is as good as it gets. I gotta work and work and work and work. And I get older, get more tired, and my options are going to get less and less and less for a marriage or relate. Kids will turn off eventually because of biology. But life starts to close doors and starts taking stuff from you the more you age. And instead of saying, you know what? I gained a husband, and from this I got 3 children. Then I have my kids and that interaction and all that. I have holidays and networks and this and that. Da, 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 da. It's about this elusive money and this and that. And you don't even want this shit. You want that. But instead of focusing on becoming the woman that can attract the kind of man that can do that and having that outcome, This is what's been pushed to modern women. Cosmopolitan sold it to you in the 60s. It's called the cosmopolitan lifestyle. This is why so many women, 1 in 4 women, are on some sort of psych med, because you're not built to do this. Women are not designed to oppose the environment. You're designed to be a helpmeet. But they have made women, especially Black women, turn your back on femininity by calling it weak, and you gotta be strong. No, you should be weak and feminine and safe and protected and cared for, and having the most important thing, to put the next group of people into the world. But instead, you're an employee, you're a boss chick, independent, you made a paycheck. You die and it stops at you. Who made money off of that? The people over there living like that. The people over there living like that. That's why when Cam Newton said what he did, I saw all these folks coming out, especially white people. He talked about the Babbitts and this and that, the same breath. It's like, whoa, I can't understand why he said that. White guy didn't turn out of his mouth. Well, I come from a traditional family, because you understand the value of family. You don't need $1 million if you have a full life. How many millionaires self-delete? How many millionaires are miserable? And I say you can't pick. I'm thinking that's an easy choice. People. Better than this. Think about it. If you got people, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say this and I believe. Women were taught that men owe you everything. And we gotta give you all of us. And that's never what we owe you. We don't owe you nothing. We don't owe you nothing except this. You're our helpmate. My job is not to entertain you. Your job is to help me. And what's the reward? With us, you get family. You get my family, you get our kids. That's where you put your energy. That's what takes your time. I got to go out and be on my purpose. You over here, and we come together, and we have more. So when the kids go off and you're an empty nester, you see the kids develop, you get grandkids and everything else, and things to make your lives. We look at women in the Middle East and places like that, and modern women and women in the West, like, oh, those women are so oppressed. Those women don't envy y'all. I'm like, why do I need to be independent so I can just work a full-time job and live paycheck to paycheck? It's not like y'all living glamorous lives. You're living alone. 2019, marriage filings were up in every community except the Black community. They were down. Because when coronavirus happened, people started recognizing, you know what? Fuck this shit. Family, relationships are what it's about. That's why we had the Great Resignation. 25 million people quit their job in the last 2 months of 2021. The Great She-Cession. More women left the workforce in 2021, except Black women. You can't leave because you don't have a man. Wow. So if women continue to leave the workforce, what's going to happen? Wages are going to go up for the men because you're going to decrease the amount of labor. That's the reason wages have been flat, because women are in the workplace. If women weren't back into the homes or whatever, they don't like that word, but if women were not in the workplace, you halve or decrease the amount of workers, the average wage goes up. Like companies right now are looking to hire people because they don't have enough, right? What are they doing? Increasing pay to get people to work. It's economics. So, and what are women doing? But here's the thing. If women are leaving the workplace and taking their skills and starting home-based businesses, homeschooling or whatever, they're taking the money that they were making, reinvesting into the family, investing into the kids. So what is the workplace going to look like if women are starting to leave to be at home? You're going to have men and unattached women. How's that going to look? You go into the workplace, all these different men and Black women.
Funny.
But who's making money off of it?
The white man. Again.
But y'all did it. You want to be independent. You don't need no man. You strong. We're not your enemy. Every other woman seems to realize that you're better off with your man. And you don't need a millionaire. Average will do. Average men got your family and you to where you are right now.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Then why don't you get another average man and keep the family tradition going? Because I deserve a millionaire, because I got millionaire dreams.
I don't. I do have $1 million dreams. That's very true. But I don't feel like, oh, I deserve a millionaire. But like, would I like for my man to become a millionaire and exceed all his potential? Of course, of course.
That shit's supposed to sound good. All I hear is pathetic. Let me tell you why. Why do you have $1 million dreams? What do you want to do with this money?
I just want to, because I've worked since I was 18. I've worked multiple jobs for like 2 jobs. Like I said, I live in Southern California, so it is very expensive. I've definitely maintained.
What are you doing with the? What do you want to do with the money? What's the?
I want to ultimately just create generational wealth. I want to be able to start a
Stop right
business.
there. Stop right there. How do you have wealth without the generations?
Well, the kids will come.
Stop. Y'all want money, and money is just a tool. If I gave you the money, you don't have the man of the generations. And with you, it ends. You don't need the millions. You need the man.
Okay.
You've been told you need the money, and I'm like, what do you need the money for? And that's why I knew you don't have a plan. I just want money because it feels like freedom and security and options alone. How many millionaire black women out there who are in industry unmarried?
Maybe not even half. Maybe about half. I don't know.
In the
For
music?
sure.
Do you think most women are married in entertainment?
In the entertainment industry, definitely less than half.
And they got money?
But I definitely agree with you. Money is definitely a tool. Money does not buy you happiness. No,
But that's what we say, but that's what so many women are preoccupied with. It's not money, it's a lifestyle. Y'all have been sold, you've been marketed to. It's propaganda. You've been marketed to that this is what success looks like. What success looks like was your mama and daddy, your grandmama and your great grandparents. That's what success looks like. Go back to your family photo album and go back and look at the generations. Your mother and father, if they were married, were they?
Yes.
Your grandparents were married? Your great-grandparents were married. Probably 1965 was married at a rate of 80%. So back prior to the 50s, all you see is married couples. That slave-looking black man and that black woman, or maybe the higher. But all you saw was kids and this and that. They didn't have car. I mean, meager surroundings, but they had family. Then all of a sudden you come to 1970, boom, what you start seeing, mama, kid, mama, kid, mama, kid. Where's the daddy? He ain't there. Why? Different program. Now, 80% of our kids are born out of wedlock. You go out to a restaurant on the weekends, if you see couples of families, you see black, you see Hispanic, Middle Eastern, Asian, other folks, you see a balance of men and women and children. Pay attention when you see black people out. Women, kids.
Together, as groups, yeah.
Women and kids, no husbands, no wedding rings. Generational wealth is the family. It's what we pass down. It's what you remember. Do you remember your grandparents well?
Yeah, they're still alive.
Okay. When they go on to glory, you think you're gonna miss their money, or you're gonna miss what they brought to your life?
No, I'm gonna miss what they brought to my life.
And that ain't money. That's generational wealth. That's legacy. Not their bank accounts. Not shit, stuff. But that's what women, see, women today don't want to share a man, but you'll give up your legacy. You have been convinced that sharing a man is worse than giving up your legacy. And I'm gonna say this, and I think it's funny. I think it's funny that we are from the most accepting people, black folks, we accept everybody. We accept when the LGBT community came along, black folks have always been accepting. Women are more accepting of alternative lifestyle than sharing a man. When you know what creates legacy, men and family. Go
Can I
ahead.
just
Go ahead.
say fun? I think in sharing a man, transparency is key in that. If you're going to have your solid relationship with someone, you've been married, you guys been together for a while, got married, maybe there are no kids yet, or if there are kids, whatever the case is, but being transparent in that is, I think, just being courteous, or just
Most definitely.
a person. Like, yes, I love you, but I want to date other people.
No lying, no sneaking. No, none of this stuff is. And here's the funny thing: most men just want to know that their women value them enough to know that they could. Most men don't. Y'all are really arguing. It's funny. Y'all really are arguing against the concept that most men really wouldn't exercise, but they want to know the fact that you recognize that you are fortunate to have this man at home, and need to move and act like I'm fortunate. And he could do this, and the fact that y'all had the conversation up front, yeah, all right, well, I could go out to a World Girls House, but let's watch American Gangster and order some Chinese. That ain't what we really do. Black men are some of the best mates on the planet. We listen to y'all. I think that sadly, black women don't realize the wealth that you have in black men until white women's come for them. Then you want to fight for him. He was yours. He was yours when you were young. Did you choose him or did you choose your career? And that's what you give up, the legacy. So good conversation though. Good conversation. Have a good one, man.
You too, Kevin.
Bye-bye. That was good. All right, man, I'm tired. I'm tired. Look, like I said, I think it's funny that we can accept so many different ways of thought, so many different lifestyles, and we are the no heat, no judgment people. But this topic, especially amongst our women, it's beyond the logical. It's beyond the pragmatic and practical. This goes to something that we haven't really got to. And like I said, I think it does need to be done with transparency if it happens up front. But honestly, I think it'd be kind of a relief for most women to be like, whatever. I hope women get to a place where y'all can stop trying to control everything, play so defensive about everything, and just relax and rest in your thing that you've put to the side, your femininity. Other women understand that femininity grants you real influence. The world was made, I'll say this, the selfish gene theory. Why do we have air conditioning and high rises and everything else? Because women, because sex. Men have civilized the world in general, basically to have the kind of caliber of woman we want. If we could have the kind of caliber of woman we want, we'd still, and not have to do anything, we'd still be living in caves or huts. I think women need to realize how much power y'all really have and stop letting what other women who don't have what you have or what other women say. Stop worrying about what people are saying who ain't got what you got. That's what more women worry about. I don't want to look bad in front of other women. Hear you. But ask yourself a question before you actually listen to the criticism or critique. Do you want their life? Do you want to trade places with them? If not, understand they might just be saying that to sabotage you because they're not willing to make the accommodations and choices you're making to get the outcomes you want. Misery loves company. Don't be miserable. Peace out.